I just love the feeling, I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life.
Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Chelsea match review on a Chelsea Perspective. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I cannot thank you guys enough. I nearly, again, the way I felt, again, it's not anybody's fault, but again, I felt feeling betrayed, disappointed, used. So again, I nearly said, okay, you know what, I can't do this show today, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'll start by asking a question to find out, again, what's really going on before, again, I made such a decision. Again, it wasn't everybody in the chat. It wasn't all the Chelsea Perspective followers that caused the problem. Again, my feeling is everywhere right now, and I didn't expect that to happen. But that's, by the way, we move on. We'll look at a few topics. Again, after looking at those topics, then we will go into reviewing what went on in the match. And again, I hope you will enjoy the show today. I will try my best to keep it together as much as I'm pissed, as much as my feelings are everywhere right now, as much as I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, we're still moving. So thank you so much for finding the time, to join the show. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Yes, again, people, thank you for joining the show again today. I cannot thank you guys enough. As you're coming in, please be sure to like the stream and also, again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Those things that do go a long way for us. Again, let's look at what we have in the chat already. A few OGs are here already. Again, Blue Morning, Kachila, Panel, and chat. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're doing well, Leon Lane. Thank you so much. And please, again, the captain of the house says that please like and subscribe if you have not when you enter, as it helps the channel reach a wider audience. And thank you so much again. Blue Morning to you, Santiago Munoz. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. Good morning, Blue family. Lovely Blue day today. Yes, good morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. Really, for personal reasons, I'm not going to read this. I want the person that's using this account to confirm whether what we had before was the truth or not, because somebody came into the chat yesterday and said it wasn't true. It was all a joke, just wanted to use another account. And then this same person on Twitter blocked me because I was going to ask the question on Twitter, was it true really, or didn't it happen? What's going on really? Again, to find out if I could make the video I wanted to make. And then next thing I heard, I couldn't send message to this person in particular, but other people were able to send a message. So I just want to find out if I can confirm if it was the truth. It's not a joke to play with somebody's feelings. I was utter nonsense, useless for 3-4 days. So again, I'm not really not going to go into that now until I'm sure what's going on. So I can't trust anybody now. I seriously again have some trust issues right now. Kepa back. It says a new again. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that right now. Seriously, we can talk privately. I really want to find out what's going on because I'm really not sure. Okay, yes, thank you very much, guys. If you're in the chat, like I said, keep liking the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Again, those things do help the channel go a long way. Thank you so much. And please, again, I don't want to discuss this why the show is going on because it affected me so much. It still affected me. Even right now, I nearly canceled the show. Again, given what I'm seeing, again, it's the whole talk is everywhere. Okay, again, and then I don't see why, again, being a mod will be again your priority if that's really the case. What we're talking about. Again, the first thing we're seeing here, Nizar Kisala saying Chelsea had 3 right wing backs in 45 minutes yesterday. Let's just say 3 players play in that position. You can say only one of which I don't believe Cesar Spilicueta played there. I don't remember really what happened. Only one of which you could say traditionally have played there before. Again, the gaping hole left by Reece James is still quite again underrated. Is now probably the most important player at the club, and it will be hard to replace him again over these coming weeks. So. Roger, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well.
I apologize. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you too. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, sir? I'm confused, but let's progress. If you want to talk offline, I'm always here, Albin.
Yeah, you're my friend, man. We'll talk offline again. I'm confused too. Again, here's the thing. I'm
confused. You're confused.
Yeah, I am confused. Now, I know you're not confused. I'm going to say this. Really, what has happened ruined me for the past 3-4 days. Ty would tell you. Everybody that's close to me in the community would tell you. I wept like a baby during the live show in front of my wife, telling her how close I got to the person, even though I haven't gotten to meet them in person. And then all of a sudden, I couldn't send a message to the person that was using the same account of the person I still see as my friend. I'm not sure what happened. Now, somebody came into the chat yesterday saying it was all a joke. I was confused. Yeah.
There's funny and there's not funny. That's not
No,
funny.
It's not funny, really. So I really want to find out why was I all of a sudden not able to send a message to the person that was telling me what happened to my friend. You get what I'm saying? Now, somebody's in the chat saying it wasn't a joke. And now, again, but other people were able to send a message to the same person, just me alone. It wasn't a blocking. So I wasn't sure what's going on. But the whole thing is just confusing. And I'm not here to talk about it. We're here to host a show.
Exactly.
If being a mod is what the person who's using my friend's account prioritizes, that's not an issue. We have to sort out whether this really happened or not. Then again, I can make her a mod. I can make the person a mod again. You get what I'm saying? Again, being a mod isn't. If that's your biggest concern, we can. It doesn't take 10 seconds. So I don't know why if that's an issue for you. Again,
I'm sorry.
Let's again. Yeah. Let's go back up to the conversation. Your thoughts on again? Really, it's a gaping hole left by Reece James, which highlights why it was a mistake not to have signed a right wing back player.
Yeah.
This past summer, maybe it wasn't a priority. Maybe it wasn't a priority. It was about, how do I phrase it? It was about it was because we had players who are able to play in that particular position. So Thomas Tuchel did not take it seriously, and now it looks like we're paying the price somehow, because if you recall, we had a lot of our performance went down south the moment Reece James got injured again this past the last season.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly the point I was going to bring up, actually, Coach. Considering that we experienced losing both starting wing-backs last year, this should have been the writing on the wall. So it should come as no surprise that these positions, as I've mentioned before, require the greatest amount of production put in, covering the field up and down. That's all you're doing, you know. As Steve Nichols says, 30, 40 years ago, in that position, you never went past the halfway line. Now this position has evolved, and that requires a lot of strain, running up and down, sprinting, by the way, not just jogging, sprinting. So the demands on the human body is immense, you know. So we didn't, by the way, having watched the match yesterday, I would have to say it's the second most important position on the field, because obviously I'm being biased between the sticks, baby.
Sorry, what did you say?
I'm just joking. I'm saying, like, obviously after watching yesterday's game, watching that goalkeeper play, what a shot stopper. I thought that was the most important position. It was without him.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
I know. I'm just bringing that up because the chat mentioned that was the most important position. I beg to differ.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to say. But yeah, we should have addressed that. Not only that, it's because James's backup, which is Aspie, naturally is not exactly in his youth. He's on the back end of his career. So there are warning signs. We addressed the left wing because of Chilwell being hurt and recovering, and we bought Cucurella, but we didn't address the right side. So yes, that's our fault. Whoever that is, whether that's upper management, you know, or front office, however you want to term it, or the coaches, then whomever, it was not successfully addressed, plain and simple. And it's a knock-on effect. It's a domino effect for the team, and we're seeing that transpire right now. And and it was a major impact on the game. It's simple as that. There is no getting around it. You know, there were too many square pegs playing in round holes yesterday. Didn't work.
Yeah.
We got it wrong. Simple. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, we'll get to that again. Quickly, Tobago, how are you doing, brother? Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate that from you.
Hello, Tobago.
Tobago, so yeah, again, the question I want to ask you, I'm glad I can't complain. So that again, I'm just still I'm confused, honestly. I've not been able to achieve a lot for the past 3 days. I'm just pissed. I'm a bit, again, I'm glad I've been able to hold myself not to go overboard in terms of my reaction to how I'm feeling right now, canceling the show, and again, telling people what they don't want to hear from me. But that's, by the way, what I want to ask you, your thoughts again on that comment. Was that Kinsella? I think it highlights where we made a mistake in the summer. But at the same time, if you looked at all the players we tried to sign, you could say the club did make an attempt to get a competition for Reece, but it didn't work. We tried to factor in, again, the signing of Denzel Dumfries as we were negotiating with Inter. That too didn't work. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Coach, to be honest, from my side, if we couldn't have money to buy another right back, we should have kept that kid who's the Dujan Sterling. At least, for example, he can learn from Rhys James. He can fill in when Rhys James is not there because Dujan Sterling is not a bad player. We haven't seen him in a Chelsea t-shirt, maybe to judge him, because sometimes players performs very well when it comes to their home-based team. So we saw him on loans and stuff. Yes, it didn't work out very well for him due to injuries. But again, if you couldn't have money to buy, we've linked with Dumfries, this other guy, Kyle Walker-Peters, if you couldn't afford them, we should have kept the John Sterling. Look at now, our coach clearly doesn't trust Aspilicueta. Not because he's not a good player, but his legs at the moment are not that well. So, man, like, hopefully in January address this issue, or we recall to just studying for me.
Yeah, again, I think that's a solution. The question is how long the solution is going to last. But again, like I said, this just highlights what a mistake it was not to take that, getting a player for that position seriously. On the left-hand side, you can say we're fine. We're not perfect, but again, we're good. This one here, the second one here says, again, I am convinced that Thiago Silva loves Chelsea more than he ever did with PSG. You could argue that's the same. He's won, again, trophies, you could say, that are bigger than trophies PSG has won. He's won the Champions League with us, which is a much bigger trophy than League R. He's won the Club World Cup with us. He's also won the Super Cup with us. So those are, again, no matter what he's won, the numbers count, you know. But again, the truth remains, he's won, you could say, some of the most important trophies at Chelsea. Plus, I think we've welcomed him. It just seemed as if he's been with us forever. I don't know if any of you want to say anything regarding that, or should I move on? Okay, I'm saying nobody there wants to say anything. And for this one, again, it says, again, 3-2, again, despite only playing in 3 matches, Kepa Arrizabalaga has prevented more goals than any other goalkeeper in the Premier League this season with his saves. This shows he's doing well, but at the same time, it shows something isn't quite right with our defense. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let me get your thoughts now. What do you think, Roger? As much as this is a good thing showing that Kepa is doing well, it also highlights the fact that something isn't quite right with our defense or from the midfield. Let's say the issue may not be from the midfield. The issue may well be, again, may not be the defense, may be from the midfield area.
Yeah, I think it's an amalgamation of many things, to be honest with you. You know, the game has progressed, excuse me, whereupon in the 21st century now, you start your defense with your forwards pressing and closing down, and then it has a knock-on effect to the midfield and then the defense, where also the attacking starts now from the goalkeeper passing out. So it's dynamically, it's changed very much. The fact that he has the most saves per game, it says here, is that this season, then yeah, that's great that he's able to be a shot stopper, but it also illustrates the fact that he needs to save shots on target. That's not good. So we are vulnerable in the back. That could be because of either A, personnel, or B, formation, or C, maybe turnovers in inappropriate areas, which has been the case in quite a few games. It is a multitude of things, I believe, but that's a statistic that I don't really wish to see, because I would like to see him in the bottom half of that, where he's not required, or Mendy is not required. That's not good.
Yeah, again, it's not good, really. Again, he's done a good job, but yeah, for me, that highlights there's a serious issue somewhere. He shouldn't be facing that much shots Tobago, what do you think? You want to say anything about that, or do you think we should move on?
To be honest, yesterday, our midfielder or some other players were disconnected or disjointed, something like that, because they lost the ball so many times, and then it affected our defense because our midfielder didn't do anything yesterday, and then they meet Thiago Silva, Cocorella, and Chalaba and Kepa like not good enough because of how we were losing positions during that game, especially in the midfield. Sometimes I prefer Sterling or Mount or Aubameyang to lose position, but in the midfield, no, that's not acceptable. Hopefully, Grandpa have saw that, and then this he is going to solve that matter because we can't keep on losing position in the midfield.
Yeah, I think we'll come back to looking at again why we think the midfield again. You could say as much as Ruben loves to take, you always wherever he plays on the pitch, you always again enjoy watching him play. But we cannot overlook the fact that again, as much as he played well, combined with whoever he's paired with, you could say they didn't do that well. Again, they didn't protect the defense well. That's why these guys again. They exploited that anyway. They came at us, and you can say we were lucky not to have really lost that game. So let me catch up with a few stuff I have in the chat. I will skip quite a lot. Again, I don't want again anything to you can say rattle my emotions. I want to be able to host the show until the end. I am deeply confused, angry. I'm so many things right now again, but I know I have a show to host. Again, it's a community now. I have to still try the best I can to be with the people who's taking time off whatever they're doing to come join the show. Hello everyone, are you ready for Brentford on Wednesday to be 1 point behind? What do I make of this comment now? I'm not sure, but I think we're ready again for Brentford, but we'll see what happens. Big up everyone, big up to you too. I hope you're doing well. Again, hit the like button, people, says my brother Tobago. We have 15 likes now, but we can do better than that. If you haven't, please do take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Again, Mount silenced he silenced all haters yesterday. Absolutely brilliant display. Got to give him a credit. Here is again a due. Where is the again? Keep it up. Yeah, we have to analyze the goals, the two of them, because it takes intelligence, an intelligent player to score such goal. Not just again, it wasn't a fluke. If you ask me, and that's what I will tell you. Michael Obinka says, "Blue morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. I cannot thank you enough." Kepa was superb yesterday. He was really. Again, tell me about it. I think again, I've campaigned for him. Again, after I sense again, there's an issue again with you can say a Mendes form. But Thomas Tuchel, again, it seemed as if he didn't want to do anything about it. Again, I'm not going to go into how I think he handled the selection of the goalkeepers, which you could say didn't help Mendy. It rather made him, you could say subconsciously, he felt like he started taking things for granted and did not work to fix the mistakes. So, hey, Jobzuela, big up to you too, Queen of the House. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. I cannot thank you enough. Chelsea need to sit up. I don't like our performances at all. Again, we won the game, but we must recognize we were lucky, really. It wasn't a deserved win. I have to be that. But again, mathematically, again, if you score the most goals, you win. And we scored the most goals. We did score the most goals yesterday. But the truth remains, if we're all coaches, or if you're a coach, you still go back. Again, if you watch the game again, you'd realize you were actually lucky and you have some work to do. Again, but that's, by the way, let's look at what we have next. Soon we will get into reviewing the match properly. But at this point, the idea was to look at something where some of the stuff we have out there, knock them out, and then get back to reviewing the match proper. This is from Veins. Again, he says, Fabrizio Romano, again, Kepa was actually closer to leaving in the summer as Napoli were in advanced talk with Chelsea over a deal. In the end, Todd Boehly didn't accept a loan proposal with a buy option, as he only wanted to proceed on a permanent deal. What a mistake that would have been. And now we actually realized, and again, you could say we're actually seeing how lucky we were not to have let Kepa Arrizabalaga go. Honestly, I have to say, thank goodness we didn't, because it would have, you could say, compounded the work that we had to do during that summer transfer window, because you can't let him go and not be in the market for another goalkeeper. Otherwise, we're stuck with Mendy, who, again, nobody was sure what we were going to get from him on any given day, given the form he was at before he got injured. Roger, your thoughts?
On the two goalkeepers, I think you're being a little bit harsh on Mendy. I mean,
no, but I'm just saying, or maybe if you want to start, I'm just saying how close, given Vincent's report, we were close to letting him go, really.
Yes, yeah, we were. Actually, I thought, to be honest with you, in the transfer window, I wouldn't say totally convinced, but I was quite sure that he was going to leave. I really was. But, thankfully he didn't. And I've always liked him from day one. I thought he got a bad rap throughout his whole tenure thus far as a Chelsea goalkeeper. I think that price tag, I think it weighed down the shirt for him. I've heard from other pros that have said, it can psychologically bear weight on a person. And some don't. It depends on the individual. But he showed more actually when he wasn't a starter. He was very much a team player, and he exhibited this. He didn't sulk. He put his head down and he improved. I think he analysed where his shortcomings were and improved on them, whether that be upper body strength or coming out and dominating the box, etc., etc. I think we are blessed to have two world-class shot stoppers, and that's what we have in essence. Yes, Mendy is.
You think by any chance that, again, any of them, especially Mendy, they think he'd be comfortable sitting on the bench and watching Kepa start day in, day out? Because the truth remains, it would take something very serious for Potter to drop Kepa from starting like Premier League games and Champions League games. Yes, Mendy will get his sense, but probably in a cup game.
Yeah, well, Mendy's seen how Kepa handled himself. And I think, from what I can tell, not that I know them both, obviously, but I can tell that they actually are quite tight. And they've expressed that in interviews, that they bond, I'm not sure they go out for dinner every night, but on the training ground and so forth, there's a camaraderie between all three goalkeepers, from what I've read.
Which is, you could say that's natural.
Yeah,
that's they're professionals. They expect to work together. Yeah, but
that's not always the case. But that's not always the case, Coach. There are egos involved. And look, Kepa could have gone into meltdown when he was benched under Frank, and he didn't. He really showed the true grit. That's actually more impressive than his shot stopping abilities, what we've seen lately. I think kudos to him. He's a young man. Coming to a foreign country, a different language, a different environment. I think he's done well. He's a fish out of water in that regard. He's done very well for himself.
And like you mentioned, he didn't sulk. And again, I'd like to see the same behavior from Mendy. I'd like Mendy to, fight for his place and not expect to just, come back and starting games.
I don't know Mendy. I don't know what his personality is per se or his drive, but I can't see him, because he's slightly older than Kepa. I can't see him deviating from the path that Kepa took. In fact, I think they push each other, and I think they probably help each other in so many words that they may even exchange notes, so to speak. Maybe give pointers to each other. That's quite common for keepers. They're a tight group of individuals. They're unique unto themselves, and they're ostracized for that in so many ways. I think Mendy has. I can see him more of a, because he's more mature and he's in his peak. I can see him actually taking the same road that Kepa did. I can't see him sulking and saying, "I want out of here." At least not yet, because don't forget, you also have the probability, and touch wood, but there could also be an injury, just like what happened to himself, Mendy. So you could be called upon at any given minute of a game. even warm-ups before a game. So one never knows. So he shouldn't take that approach. And I think he's smart enough and old enough to understand this.
Yeah, again, thank you very much for that. Again, how about you, Tobago? I want to get your thoughts again. And what do you think that the fact we're close to letting him go? And you can say the whole thing, you can say, if again, I believe that's the truth. And because we were seeing all the rumors then, which means for me, you could say it was Thomas Tuchel. Because he wouldn't be looking to leave. The Thomas Tuchel didn't tell the new owners, you know what, I don't really want this guy in the team. What do you think, Tobago, really?
Okay, to be honest, I thought Kepa was going to leave this summer for Napoli, but due to his wages, Napoli couldn't afford him, and then he ended up staying. So at the moment, with Graham Potter, as we talked before, like Kepa will play more games under Potter because Potter likes ball-playing goalkeepers. And if you've seen clips and stuff about Kepa, Kepa's like a leader now, like a coach. He's coaching players and stuff. So that is giving a lot of players confidence. So we need that from every player, just to be a Graham Potter's captain or Graham Potter's assistant in games. So I'm glad with Kepa's performance. And we know what happened with Kepa, who was about to kill his confidence and stuff.
Yeah, again, I agree with you. I think let me try and catch up with what we have in the chat already. We'll get back to the Kepa's performance, but again, what a risk it was. Again, I don't know what we would have done had we let him join Napoli or any other team. Again, that was serious about signing him. Let's see what we have here again. Anything else? Anything else? Again, I did not like our performance, but sometimes you have to win ugly. And we did Mount and Kepa, man of the match, onto Brentford. Yes, to me, there's something I describe. Again, maybe we describe winning ugly differently. For me, that we were lucky, really. Winning ugly would be you didn't play good, but again, the opposition didn't get that many chances to score more goals than you did. We'll look at the statistic to Boy. Again, we were lucky. So to me, I'd say we were lucky to have gotten the win. This is not about digging in. This is not about, how do I phrase it, again, about winning ugly. No. To me, we were lucky. Winning ugly, like I said, let me ask you, Roger, how would you really define winning ugly?
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. Watch that game for 90 minutes. That defines winning ugly.
Really?
To basically paraphrase, we didn't win the match as such. Whereupon basically Villa actually lost the match. They lost it from two errors. Their goalkeeper, Mings, and then the goalkeeper stepping right, going towards your wall when that ball, that free kick wasn't even in the corner. That was just left of centre. That was shocking. I know it was dipping. I get it. And these balls move a lot more than in my generation. But Ming's error, it was taken well, though. You've got to give it. He was clinical, Mount, in how he took that. But for all intents and purposes, we took advantage of their errors. That's all there has to be said about it. We didn't deserve to win, per se. I thought we were shocking. I'll be honest with you. I thought that there was no cohesion. Just the fact that we didn't get our first corner until the 96th minute. That should put it in perspective. I think they had 7, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's what I recall. They had, I think, 10 more shots than us. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, 10 more shots. I think they had 18 shots while we had 8 overall.
So let's put it this way. If Chelsea were wearing the Villa shirts and Villa were wearing our shirts, we would be really down with the fact that we would be saying this morning we dominated the match and yet we lost. That's what we would be saying. And I think it's true to assume that Villa fans will be saying the same thing. And rightfully so. They should have got at least a point out of that game. But they made errors and we basically jumped on it. We were fortuitous. highly lucky. You know, we won ugly, as they say. It wasn't pretty. It was, and then to make things worse, a few minutes later, the Liverpool City game was on. What what a difference. I mean, this game had everything. It was technical, the quality, the high quality of caliber of the players, how they played. It was everything that Chelsea's match wasn't. The game that I watched was very poor in quality in so many areas that we'll get into later. But you know, it was noticeable. So yeah, we won ugly. We didn't play well. We couldn't really pass well. We turned the ball over so much. The only thing that saved us, no pun intended, was our goalkeeper. It's simple as that. That's winning ugly.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed as simple as that. Yeah, go ahead, Tobago.
But again, Rodrigo, I know yesterday I didn't enjoy the game, I'll be honest. But due to playing each game after two games after 2 days, we can see this kind of performance because at the end of the day, those players are human beings. They're getting tired and stuff. So, so we won't see beautiful football every time they play. But again, hopefully we will change against Brentford. But all important now, we are getting points. I don't want us to lose at the moment. I just want us to win.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. That's valid, you know, because they're not robots, they're human. But let's be honest here. I didn't enjoy the game at all. Pleased that we won, but it was a comprehensive failure across the board with a few exceptions in the outfield. It was poor. That's all I have to say. But you're right, though. We can't expect to be playing 10 out of 10 each game. I get it. They are human. I concede that.
Yeah, let me get what we have in the chat and now bring in IBC again. I think he needs to see what we had on the screen to get in there. Before we get to the match review proper, again, guys, if you're just joining, please be sure to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I honestly do appreciate that. Here we have, yes, people keep liking the video. I just said that, and the captain of the house says that too. Nice to see you, Top Else. I hope you're doing it well. Chelsea just need to be better defensively. Aston Villa had chances to punish them. Again, a better team would have buried those chances. But here's the thing. The issue isn't with the defense. The issue starts with the midfield. Again, they were non-existent in terms of stopping the opposition's play. So they exploited that, and they were getting that tight defense. Again, again, it was just if they snapped their finger, they are again at them. And we were lucky enough to have considered more than 3 goals. Was I right? Again, I'll hear you talk about that yourself. Big up to Liverpool as well. Nice one. That was a brilliant game to watch, really. I enjoyed watching that. Again, Potter must trust Dennis enough to use him in the next match. Let's pair him with J5 or Ruben. I really hope, again, this coach will try him. I hope so. If he tries him, then we'll see. But like I've argued before, I honestly do not think Potter is the man. Again, he likes to play with traditional DMs. This is just like the same time as I was arguing on and on and on that Thomas Tuchel doesn't like to play with traditional number 9s. I hope again, if Potter, if that happens, then I wouldn't be surprised because I could say I don't know him that much. But from what I've seen and if you watched his Brighton team, it's practically no. They don't use tradition. Anybody you can say is a traditional DM. But that's, by the way, just one more comment here, and I'll go back to the panel. That Liverpool versus Manchester City game was like a Champions League final. I'm glad that Liverpool won because I know for a fact Arsenal would drop more points than them. Again, we even I included, we're also sure that Arsenal isn't going to last. It will not last at the very top. I think you could say that's us just being Chelsea fans that we are, but I'm not surprised. But we'll see. So IBC, bringing you into the action right now, bro. How are you doing, first of all? I hope you're doing well.
Big up, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning?
Hope big up to you too, brother, again.
Good morning or good afternoon.
Maybe afternoon where he is. So we'll start you from this one quickly, just to get you up to par. If any of them you want me to move on, I'll just move on just quickly. This one is about Reece James again. The gaping hole, as you can see here, the gaping hole left by Reece James is still quite underrated. I don't think it's underrated. Again, even during the pregame show, we understood really we have a problem. Well, so that was why what we did was discuss, okay, what's the solution given that, again, he'll be out for a while. Is that something you want to talk about? Should I just move on?
I mean, it is what it is. It just goes back to when the summer, when I first joined your channel, and you put it out the question where we need to invest, and we all said, well, I said defense, midfield, and attack, and obviously having people in place to make sure those transfers happen will bode well for our season going forward. In the cases of injuries for either Reece James, Chilwell, and what have you. And obviously it's happened. So this is notwithstanding, we all know this. This is the rice is on the pudding. We knew this was the case. So now it's all about how they address it and how they get that situation sorted, so it doesn't become a big problem for us going forward again. Reece James was missing. Yesterday we didn't really have a creation. So his creativity from that right-hand side was missing, albeit the boys got 3 points. Defensively, were really good. Midfield, unfortunately, couldn't take a grasp of the game, but completely, because it wasn't a convincing win. But we can't complain for 3 points, especially a clean sheet. So yeah, that's where I'm at with Reece. So I think that will be sorted by January. That will be sorted. I'll be very surprised if that is not sorted by January.
Yeah. Again, if you're in the chat, you should see I added a question and answer tab. For those in the chat, if you have any question, add it to the question and answer tab, and I'll pick it up so that the panelists will, again, look at it. Big up, chat. Big up to you, to Santiago Munoz. I hope you're doing well. So we've looked at this one too. I don't think we should. Again, we already know that. This one, maybe. I want to get your thoughts on what you think. What does this show you? Yes, this, more importantly, you can say this highlights, again, how good, how well Kepa has done, again, since again has become the first choice. Let me just, since it's become the first choice. But what I want to ask you right now is, again, do you think he should be facing that many shots? To me, it just shows me something else is wrong somewhere.
It's okay. I'm gonna try and break it down as how I try to understand. Yeah. All right. It's hard to say. It's a bit difficult with now Potter in, but I've always maintained that our squad is not good enough to compete with those that are challenging for the top, or those that are prepared enough this season. I don't think our squad is good enough. Tuchel highlighted it, but obviously that's just his way of trying to put players on the bus or what have you, or that's just his what have you, and he's been dismissed for that. Potter's come in and he's addressed situations and he's allowed players to play, enjoy their football again and play with a bit more freedom, and there's more confidence in the approach. But it doesn't stop the fact that the squad that he has inherited may still not be good enough to what he perceives may be where we want to go. Maybe that's why we're seeing performances are not as convincing, but we're still getting the results, because it's probably credit to his management, credit to his game style, is why we are getting those results. So I understand why the frustrations may hinder in as to, our performances aren't doing well, but we're winning, or we looked bad, or people may still critique after or win. Especially, again, asking the questions with Kepa, or why is shots getting, not questions for Kepa, sorry, but questions as to why there's a lot of shots for Kepa to be stopping. And that just goes down to the situation. It's just we may not be ready enough, and Potter's trying to gel it. Potter's trying to do what Tuchel's trying to do, just trying to gel it, make it as good as possible. And credit to him. It could probably be worse if it was under anyone else, or if it was still under Tuchel, or we don't know. But I can only take positives from it, because my expectations for so being low, they you know, for my expectations to be so low, it's actually looking very, very interesting to see that we are getting results away from home, keeping clean sheets, and being defensively sound. I just hope that we will invest properly so that we can look more convincing in our justifications and wins. So, you know, if we're missing players, we're missing Kante, you know, we're missing Reece James. If we had a quality player that could replace Kante, a quality player that can replace Reece James while they are injured, or a good enough replacement or backup, or how you ever want to call it, I don't think we'll be having this problem. God knows how we'll be playing if we had a Kante on the pitch, but we haven't had a Kante on the pitch since Tottenham, so we look very different. Imagine we had him, or someone that could play in that mode, or we had if we had that depth, I don't think we'll be a problem because of our depth. I believe that we will struggle.
Yes. IBZ, you've made really valid points, but like City probably has the deepest squad. But if you take away, let's say, De Bruyne, okay, and maybe I think Kante, James are two of our three best players in the outfield. Okay, so let's take two out of their three. You would say De Bruyne would be one of them, and maybe Haaland. If you take those two, then we could be saying, you know what? Because no one can replace De Bruyne. Let's be honest. Haaland is succeeding because of De Bruyne's amazing passes. They're sublime, most of his passes. So let's say you take those two players out of the squad, and people could be saying the same thing about their squad. Like, what a drop off.
Yeah, but the problem with
and that's what we're experiencing.
No, I understand that, but the difference between Manchester City and Chelsea is, if De Bruyne was to be injured, obviously evident, you could argue it now, because those two are the ones that are pushing the numbers for them. But their squad compared to our squad, pound for pound, is quality all over. It's different quality. I cannot compare the likes of Riyad Mahrez. I cannot compare the likes of Riyad Mahrez to Hakim Ziyech, Bernardo Silva to Pulisic, Cancelo, with all due respect to Ben Chilwell, and Ruben Diaz for Koulibaly, or it's the quality and the quality of Jack Grealish for Sterling, or the quality they have, their outlet, or Phil Foden for that matter, the outlet they have.
I love Foden. I agree. I totally agree.
The outlet they have, they may not just need to depend on that. It's obviously evident, because you've got De Bruyne that's just an assist king. He just picks passes blindly. Unfortunately, yesterday Liverpool were just immense, and Liverpool raised that bar in it. Just shows
he's their engine.
I think what. Sorry to cut you off. What Liverpool showed us yesterday was, we're down and out, but this is the level of quality you need to show to beat teams like Manchester City. And when you alluded to how, when you watched the Liverpool Man City game and you saw the quality, that is just the proof in the pudding, and to show that we are nowhere near that level of quality to be playing yet. But we are getting the results based on, probably you could say, good vindication to good management.
I agree with you, sir. But all I'm trying to say is we've lost two out of our best three outfield players, in my opinion. And if you do that to virtually any team, like I just used arbitrarily Man City. I could say the same with Liverpool. If you, I know Marnie's gone. But if you take a Marnie in the spotlight, do you understand? You can say it back.
You can say the same with Liverpool.
Well, look what happened to Van Dijk 2 or 3 years ago. They lost two major players, and their team wasn't the same. So I agree with you. Their level of players is superior to ours.
The way they just apply to game, the way their game management, which is absolutely. And I know we can get there, but I just believe that it's going to take us maybe 1 or 2 transfer windows before we're cemented there.
But you understand my point of view, though?
100%. 100%.
Yeah, okay. We're on the same page.
If you take it away from City, they too will have frailties, understandably so. And it may be their frailties may be aligned with ourselves. But because of their quality, I just, yesterday was yesterday. Liverpool had to turn up, in my opinion. They had to win that game.
And that's a cauldron there. I get it. I'm just saying though, I agree with you. We dropped probably further than City would have dropped if they lost their 2 players. I'm talking about inequality of depth.
Yes.
But yeah,
All right,
but
let me bring in Max. Let's see, because I really would want us to move on quickly from again and get on with the rating proper, because now we're not rating now. Go ahead, IBC. Were you still saying something?
Let's talk about me and more.
I'm
smoking on it.
Yeah, Matt, let me get your thoughts. Matt, this stat we're looking again on the screen. It's easy to just look at it and go, wow, Kepa was brilliant. But this highlights an issue, really. To you, what do you sense? What are you learning from this?
I'm learning that Kepa is a world-class goalkeeper.
Yeah, let me show you what it is on the screen. Sorry,
I'm learning he's our number one keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did you put it on the screen? I can't see it. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm frozen, but it would take like a minute. Just give me a second, sir. I couldn't see that. But let me read it for you. It says again, 3.2. Again, despite only playing in 3 matches, Kepa Arrizabalaga has prevented more goals than any other goalkeeper in the Premier League this season. With this save, which again, this is clearly showing he's faced more shots. Again, you can say that, or however you want to read it. But do you sense any issues from there beyond him being brilliant?
I think that shows, that one player gone is crumbling our team. And that's what I've always said. It's the player's fault. It's never been the manager. And my problem with Potter coming in was the fact that Potter coming in is like putting a Band-Aid over a stitch that needs wounding. It's not going to heal. Yeah, we might fix it casually, but over time, the same thing's just going to come again. And the same thing that's going to come is that these players are going to be shit. Right? We're lucky we have a god like Kepa in goals. I always knew it from him. But when you've got players like Reece James out, obviously our best player, right? It's the players who have to step up, like Aspi, who's a captain, Loftus-Cheek, who apparently can play there all of a sudden, And that's why I've said it's always been the players. It's the players' fault why we lost so many finals. It's the players' fault why we got knocked out of the Champions League last season. It's not a managerial problem. It's never been a managerial problem in these type of games. It's always been the players' problem. It's the execution, and it's just basic football. Like, again, it's like Mason Mount missed 2 open goals in 2 FA Cup finals. Mendy couldn't kick a ball straight. We lost. It's just so much basic stuff that people try to blame it on managerial roles. When you come down to this game, it's that players are not stepping up, and we don't have the personnel, and we don't have any. And I've always said that's why I want people who has those vibes in the dressing room. I look at Everton, right, and I look at Everton. They've got those new players. They got obviously a Wobie. They bought that new guy. I don't remember his name, but he plays in mid. I completely forgot. But they brought some players in, and they got a great connection. Onana, yeah. Is it Onana? Yeah. And they got a great connection in the change rooms. And the way you execute great performances on the pitch is having chemistry. And I've never felt so spread, like so disconnected from a team since like 2018. Because 2019, I think 2020, 21, 22, we haven't had this same chemistry team. Why? For me, it's because we haven't had a proper leader. Azpilicueta, I've always said, is not a leader for me. He is a horrible leader. We don't have the vibes. I think, and then Rudiger leaving. People might think it's something that doesn't relate to football, but when you really look at it, you're there. You want to go every day and see the same people and have fun with the same people. Look at Real Madrid, right? Modric, all these guys have been there for so long. Why? Because they have a great connection together. That's why you see players like Christensen. He was doing well last season, but he left. Some of it can come down to obviously falling out with players or not having good connection. That's why I've always said I don't think we have a great chemistry, and that's why we're failing.
I think I agree with you. Again, where you said something about chemistry, I think when players have a strong bond, usually it's difficult for players to leave. Again, it happens in workplaces. Sometimes you find it difficult to leave a particular workplace because of your relationship with your coworkers. So that makes a perfect sense to me. I'm going to catch up with what we have in the chat, and we'll go through with other updates. We'll move on from it, get into the rating process proper. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't taken a second to like the stream and subscribe to the channel, if you haven't taken
I'll be back, coach.
Okay, to join the show. Again, Novani, Tonatani says, is there any updates on players? Because I'm really concerned about Thiago Silva because he was kind of limping in the game. I think he's fine. Didn't he finish the game? Probably needs a rest. That's what I think. I didn't even expect him to start that particular game. I was expecting Khalid Koulibaly to start, so he gets rested. Good morning again, Kuchila. Good morning to Kuchila and the panel. Good morning to you too, Chama, Joseph Dalo. And thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. It's Kami says again, I knew Kepa has been playing well, but those stats have surprised me again. Really well done to him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But again, we have to look beyond his performance. And again, ask the question: why did he face that much shot? That because there's an issue somewhere else. But again, I pick his performance anytime, any day. And some of us knew before time he needs to be given a chance, given when we started witnessing some issues with Kepa Arrizabalaga. And this one says again, we've read this again, and I'm shocked, really. I'm glad we didn't let him go because but I only wanted him to leave then if he's not getting the game time because Thomas Tuchel disrespected him and treated him like he's not important to the team. So why wouldn't he leave? But again, he's gotten his chance. I'm glad now he stayed because the current manager understands again how good of a player he is. This from Chelsea FC again 365. It says Chelsea letting N'Golo Kante go on a free would be a big mistake, and it's time again for the club to show the same loyalty to Kante as he has shown to us. This is the part that is important to me. That's this again. And it's time again. It's time for the club to show the same loyalty to Kante that he's shown to us. That's important for me. If N'Golo Kante's departure isn't managed well, it could create a PR issue for the club. One that's not going to be easy to defend or sweep under the rug because you have to explain before players joining clubs. Some such things as such situations are conversations. This particular again, how a player left the club, how a particular player left the club could come into be factored in the player's decision. Should I go and join them? What happens if I get to a certain age? What happens if I start again? Becoming more injury prone again. Let me just say what happens when I get to a certain age. In the case of Real Madrid, what they do actually, if you get injured, they tap a player by even actually sending you a get well message. So to me, I'd say it's a risk. But Matt, I'm going to start with you. What do you think, really, especially that aspect that says it's time for the club to show the same loyalty to Kante as he has shown to us? To me, that's critical. But I know a lot of people will just go straight to his injury prone. He's one of the highest earners at the club. Just let him go. But I think there's more to it than just letting him go because he's the highest earner. Go ahead.
Just quickly, Kepa actually just got man of the match from last night. That's what Chelsea just posted
brilliant.
now. But thing is for me with Kante is I've always said this is not a charity home. This is not a friend's day at the park, right? This is a football club, and the guy's done. The guy's finished. We have to move on. And yeah, right, he respected us, blah blah blah. But it's like, they said the same thing about Azpilicueta last season. Oh, he's a captain. We need this. We need that. Look at him. He's rubbish, right? So I'm not here.
You can't judge him based on what happened in the game. Do you see again? I'm not regretting us. I'm happy we kept Azpilicueta because it's important during a transition period in a football club to keep certain players, not because of their playing ability or not because how many games they get to play. Look how well he did in the game against Wolves. We can still get such a performance from him. I'm fine. But you could say more importantly, the club had to keep him because he's one of the leaders at the club. But I don't get. That's why again, I don't get the attitude of players don't just let them go. To me, there's a risk to it. But go ahead with what you were saying.
The thing is, like, I absolutely love Kante. I think he was, we all do. I think this is the one player every Chelsea fan can sit here and go, we've loved Kante, right? But the thing is, he's just gotten injured again from doing nothing, right? So this is an indication that this guy is getting old. I said the same thing. You know me, coach. I love Jorginho, but he has to go as well. We're in a turnover of owners, right? We have to be in a turnover of players too. Aspie, Kante, these guys, they got to go. And for me, Kante, I definitely respect him. That's why I would send him off on a high note, not keep him for another season, so when he can decline even more, and then we all get pissed at him, like we're doing with Azpilicueta right now. So honestly, for me, send him off. I don't know. Coach, I understand you like you're so tribalistic, but
let him drop, Roger. Let him
No,
drop.
what was that? I was about to say. What was that?
I'm sorry. Please continue. I'm sorry.
No. I was pretty much finished. It's all right.
I was just saying he didn't get hurt doing nothing. He got hurt playing in the game, stretching, pulled a hammy.
It's still the same meaning. Like he
that's
got
how Matt
injured.
sees nothing.
Well, it's the same meaning. He got injured by not putting any 100% intensity. If you get injured from not putting 100% intensity in, that's a problem.
Go ahead, Matt. Drop. I'll bring in Roger.
We said that's why for me we said the same thing about Pulisic. I remember that time, 2021, Pulisic. He was running on the field and he got injured. Right. This is a young guy. We're talking about Kante, right? And these indications say if you're not going 100%, right, or you're not pushing yourself and you get injured, like you're not playing an actual game, you're warming up or whatever you said, like what you said, right? That's an indication that this guy is not going to continue. He's not going to have legs for long, right? So why keep him? I would rather sell him for 20 mil, right? Send him a fantastic farewell. Go get Alvarez. It's just too tribalistic. We have to be honest with ourselves. Like,
let me explain something, Matt. It's not as simple as that, really. If we're not able to sell him in January, he gets to leave on a free and probably won't be happy the way again. Given the fact that the previous owners had a 3+1 offer for him on the table, and the new owners came in and just decided, okay, you know what, it's going to be 2+1, and he rejected it. To me, he'd feel disrespected in the first place. Given that, to me, how I'd read it if I were Kante is that the new owners probably feel like I'm not worth how much I'm earning at the club already. Plus, again, everything was handed the wrong way. As much as I loved Thomas Tuchel, I hated seeing him talk about publicly how N'Golo Kante's injury record will factor into the new contract. He doesn't really have to do that. But what I want to ask you now, Matt, how do you, again, find a way to reward loyalty? How well he served the club? I don't think if he gets to leave,
I send them off on a high note. That's what you do. You send them off on a high note.
Do that already?
Hang on. The thing is, if we've given him 3+1, right? Who am I thinking playing? But if I was Kante, if I had the choice, I would sell him because, as I said, I would let him go on a high note. As for Liquetta, we can say he had one game, but he's been horrible for us.
Matt, you haven't told me how. You haven't told me or told us how.
I just said how we treat loyalty. Hang on, I said this, Coach. It's not a retirement home. We don't treat loyalty by keeping them. If they're rubbish, which I'm not saying Kante is rubbish, I'm saying if they're rubbish, right, we're not just going to keep them just because they've been loyal, right? Why isn't John Terry still at this club? But he played for us for 20 years. Well, we're going to be loyal. The thing is, I treat loyalty by sending them off when they're at their best, when they're at their high, right? Not when they're at their high when they can perform more, but I'll send them off on a good note.
Like how would you do that? You're giving him to the previous owners.
It's not my choice to do it.
Let me ask you this, bro. I know it's not your choice, but that's why we're here to talk about it, to try to make sense of the whole situation. Let's look at Kante's case specifically. Now, the previous owners had 3+1 on the table. Like you came in and you offering him a 2+1. Yeah, so I don't see the possibility again of making it a good send-off other than giving him what he's asking, like 3+1. Or again, and try to find a common ground. Give him what the previous owners were offering to him. If you really want to show you respect him, do you realize if you look at the team photo, this is the only time Kante isn't smiling in the team's photo?
That means it's finished. That means
but go ahead, brother. I get your argument, but go
ahead.
Kante's
not smiling.
Roger, and then my brother Tobago to get your
I'll say this.
So that we can
not smiling,
no
one's smiling. If Kante's not smiling, no one's smiling. But that's what I'm saying. I would rather let him go off. If the owners say, "All right, Kante, he's a 3+1 deal, right? Whatever, that's fine." But I said my opinion would be just sell him because he's not going to bring anything new to us. His guy's injury prone. He's getting old. He's declining. We're in a turnover of owners, right? You said it before. So we're sacking the manager. Let's get rid of these old players. Jorginho, I love him. Aspie's fantastic player. Kante, 3 fantastic players for us. They've been absolutely brilliant. That's why I would sell them now when we're in a turnover. Go get players, Alvarez, all these other youngsters, so we can start something new. Because that's our plan, isn't it? Isn't it our plan to start again from scratch and not keep these old players? He's 32 or 31, Kante. We give him 3+ years. He's going to be 35. 34, 33. I don't want that here. I don't want that. I said it's not a retirement home. He's done fantastic for us. Let's send him on a high note. He's done great. and that's it. Kante, you can go for free in August, or we can sell you in January. But if the club extends, who wanted to sit here and say? But that's my opinion on it.
He's 31 and a half.
I'll get again what we have in the chat. I'll come back and let Roger
35
let me know what
then,
he thinks about the situation. Sorry, Matt, you were saying something?
No, if he's 31 and we give him 4 years, right, or 3 plus 1, whatever. Well, he'll be here till 34, 35. Like, I don't want. I'm sorry, but I don't want to Kante here till he's 34, 35. I don't know. I see him declining, right? And if you don't see that, then I don't know what to tell you. If you don't see Kante's not declining, I don't know what to tell you, because he's declining. Same with Jorginho.
But you're comparing him to other players that, yes, are on the decline. But he's a unique. Virtually every former player, every pundit, every expert, quote unquote, have all said that he's unique and he's irreplaceable. I mean, across the board, or virtually CBS, ESPN, Sky, etc., etc. They all comprehensively have stated this, that he's one of the best holding midfielders or midfielders. I know you have an issue with that holding quote unquote part, coach, but he is. He's basically revered worldwide for his uniqueness and his application. So I think an exception can be made. And listen, I'm not a doctor. You're right. He could be really over. His career could be on the downside, but we don't know that factually yet. I know Silva plays in a completely different position and has far less application compared to the wear and tear that Kante does. But, professionals now, they can extend their career. 35 is the new 30 compared to 20 years ago. I think he's got another couple of years. And it's noticeable. When he doesn't play for us, we are a different team. When he does play for us, and when you said he wasn't trying 100%, I'm sorry, he was playing in the latter stages of a game and he stretched for a ball because that's what
he was warming up.
No, he was playing in the game. He pulled a hammy in the game. Don't you recall that?
No. I'm not talking about that. I know that he injured, but he's been injured for a month.
Oh, sure.
He's been injured for a month.
Yes.
Yeah, the original. Yeah. I'm not saying about the original. Yeah, obviously, but then he got injured for an extra 4 weeks.
Sure. Yes, but
that's what I was complaining about.
But a hammy is. I have a friend actually that pulled a hammy in college, and ever since then we would play softball together in Cali. And he said once you pull one hammy, it takes a long time. And obviously, my friend isn't a professional athlete, and he doesn't receive the same professional medical attention that a Premier League player or any professional player would. It just needs to be treated. He's a unique player, and in my opinion, I think an exception should be made based on his credentials. That's all I'm saying.
A couple of factors. His credentials, again, his loyalty, how well he served the club. Again, yes, they just find a way to manage a player. It's possible. But we'll move on from that. I want to get your thoughts. Anybody else on the panel want to talk about the situation with N'Golo Kante? Go ahead, because again, we have time, because I really would like us to talk about the game. Go ahead, Fairboy. I think Tobago went out and you came back in before him. Tobago, can you wait for Fairboy to go?
No problem.
All right, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Fairboy, you go ahead. Talk about the situation. Again, I'm really, again, here's the part that I like the most about this. We have to somehow find common ground. Even if, here's the idea, Matt. I wouldn't mind us giving him 3+1 and then decide to sell him after a year. That will end the relationship on a good note. Just do it again. Find common ground. We don't want to get a bad name for ourselves in that aspect, because a club, an entity as big as Chelsea Football Club, if you create such a PR nightmare, you deal with it alone. It's not easy. But go ahead, Fairboy, and thank you for finding the time to join the show.
It's a pleasure to have me, and big up to all you guys on the panel, and
big
also
up to you too, brother.
I think I joined the show. And I was hearing this conversation. I kind of let me join you guys, because with regards to the N'Golo Kante issue, I think I side with Matt on this issue. Now, let me break down.
I was thinking he was going to come and side with me, but go ahead.
Oh, of course. I'll side with Matt on this issue. This is the thing. You are talking about we want to, how should I say it? We want to show a bit of loyalty to the player. and I get that. And I think that N'Golo Kante is one player who deserves every bit of love that we show him. The issue is that we are running a business. You get the point. We are running a company, and every company, any person or anyone who is owning a company would want to get profits from whatever he's investing into. You understand? So
ROI.
giving a contract to a player is an investment, as we all know. So if you look at Kante and we look at his injury record, you see, the new owners values his services. So they decided that, okay, because of certain things about you, we want to wait and see. Let's give you 2 years plus 1 to see how things go. I think that's a respectable contract, you see. And whenever someone renews a contract, the person is going to get his wages increased. Now, I'm not sure the new owners would be happy to see N'Golo Kante being given a huge sum of money for over a period of time, but he's not available enough to be giving us the sort of performances you want. You see, the best asset a player could have is not just his technical ability or what he could do on the pitch. It is his availability. If the player is not available, there is no way you can say that the player is the best player you ever have. Then what sort of credit would you be giving to the players who have been doing the work without him as he's absent? You get the point. So we like N'Golo Kante's talent. He's very good. But if he's not available for us as consistently as we would like him to, you see, he's just a liability. That is what it is.
Wow.
It doesn't mean that he's not that good. We are not questioning his ability.
Yeah.
But
if
he's not available for us for the period we want him, then he becomes a liability. Okay, he cannot be on wages when he's not being consistently available for us to be able to provide the sort of quality we need from him. That is my issue. That is why, for me, I would prefer that we sell him. And you see, this thing actually pains me with the fact that we waited until the last moment. His contract is running down, so as to think about whether to sell him or not. I think that if the old regime were so conscious enough about the contract extension of our key players and other things, when these injury issues occur, then maybe perhaps because of that it might worry. We can perhaps cash in on him. You understand? We could have perhaps cashed in.
I want to say quickly, I understand your point that this is business.
Yes, go on.
Again, if we're talking about you called it a business. Let's compare it to non-footballing businesses, where you hire people, they work for you, and the way you treat people doesn't just go away. There's a record of it somewhere, either by people, rating the company and voicing how they're treated. Mm-hmm. In the case of players have a players union that you can take complaints about. It's not going to happen right in this case. It's a different case. But players can show dissent by saying the way he was treated at that club, he never liked it. He didn't like it. And that creates a PR nightmare. And then you don't want that, because there are players who may well want to come to your club and remember what happened to this player and say, okay, what's going to happen to me when I get to that age, or if I get injured again? How did they treat this guy? That's what my point. I don't know how else to, to talk about this to make sense of what I'm trying to say. But I think I'll get the opinion of
Coach,
yeah.
Coach, can I just say, I think for the most part, everyone has very valid points. They really do. But all I want to say
that's for sure.
But these are based on your quote unquote, like you're saying, it's a business, so you got to get an ROI, return on investment. I understand that.
Most importantly.
But having said that, this is an entertainment business. In essence, it's a sport that basically entertains the general public. But having said that, this is an individual that you have on your screen that is the exception to the rule, like a Ronaldo or a Messi et al. He's an elite player. These chaps, Kante doesn't come. He's not a dime a dozen, as they say. He is a game difference maker. He won us tournaments, trophies when he was injured. No other player can do that. That's all the point I'm trying to say. He's the exception to the rule. And I'm not saying this romantically. I'm just saying from what my eyes have told me objectively since his tenure at Chelsea. That's all I'm trying to say.
I like the point you raised. I like the point you raised about Ronaldo and Messi.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why Ronaldo and Messi
shirts? Yes.
Let me say it that way.
I get it.
I made this point to you guys that availability is your greatest asset. Ronaldo and Messi, yes, they have the quality, but accompanied with the quality, they have the availability. And this is the point I'm making. N'Golo Kante is an exceptional midfielder. No one denies that. I don't deny that.
Okay. I understand that.
But the issue is, if he's not available, he does not become your asset. He's not an asset. Okay, he becomes a liability. And with the point that you make about, okay, let's show him respect. That is why the club opted for 2 years plus 1.
Yes, 2 years plus 1. I'm gonna bring in again Tavago Sim, but believe me, bro. Again, Fairboy, I understand your point from a business perspective.
Yes,
but at the same time, you don't treat it hasn't come to that yet. But the signs aren't good that the previous owners had 3+1 on the table for him, and you came and you said you have to take 2+1. You've started disrespecting the player. First of all, no matter how you restructure the deal. And that's, by the way, I'm going to try to catch up with what we have in the chat. I'll come to Tobago. He makes his point. We'll finish with the updates we have. We still have a match to rate. Hopefully, you still have time to be with us. Coach Stalin and Kai have to be benched for Pulisic and Broya. We're getting into that in a bit again. Kante is finished. Aspilicueta is rubbish. Who is speaking? Yeah, find out. Stay tuned to find out. Again, Anwar Collins, just my greetings from Uganda. Nice to see you, Anwar Collins. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining the show. Stalin is not Chelsea level of player. To be honest, the guy is finished. The coach is only playing him day in, day out because he's English. I was expecting to see that. And he keeps benching Pulisic. That is in good form. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. Kante needs a better medical treatment and just find a way to manage the guy's situation. And he'd still serve us for about 2-3 years more. Again, Tuchel and Lampard played him into constant injuries, ran him to the ground. And now, to me, that's how most people will see it. And now want to drop him. Mount better than Havertz. You could, again, that you have every right to argue that. If you sell him, we need a Declan Rice. That is, if the manager, like I've argued before, again, he plays with traditional DM. So Stalin is not, again, benching Pulisic. Havertz takes up minutes that Pulisic could use. Stalin has 6 goals plus assists and hits the bar 3 times. Yeah, but again, scoring a goal doesn't take away what the eye test is showing us, especially in the last 2-3 games. He's been awful. I must say, as much as I still respect, again, how good, again, I know he can be. Sylvie started 8 going on 40, and one of our best players, Kante, is starting one who's speaking. Again, yeah, it's just, to me, my argument, find a way to manage the guy, and he still serves us well. He's not, again, declining in play. He's just getting injured more often. So it's just, again, which means another argument that shows we have to find a way to manage him. I pulled a hamstring walking. There you go, walking at Amazon 3 years ago. I still can't bother with it. That's, again, I didn't mean to laugh, but I just have to. I still think he deserves a contract. Just a shame, though, again, they're constantly being brought back too quickly. That's the argument. We don't give him time, especially under Thomas Tuchel and under Lampard. Again, the moment he recovers slightly, we just bring him back again because he's that important to us. But nobody's talking about that right now.
Management.
Most people just want him out without a solid argument. But that's, by the way, let me get... It says, Coach, I want to join the team and share my opinion. Okay, again, get to me via Twitter and I'll share the link with you. Again, we welcome new panelists, and you have to be on camera for at least a minute before you go off for security reasons. Just reach out via Twitter, Chelsea Prospect, at Chelsea Prospect via Twitter. So, Tobago, quickly, your thoughts on N'Golo Kante, the situation, so we can move on and get to rate the match. We don't have too much time left, actually.
Okay, to be honest, from my side, Coach Buri just hired new doctors. Let's wait for him until he recovers, and then he won't play World Cup. Let's give him time from January. Let's say January, February. If it's not getting more injuries, then we can give him a contract. If he's still getting injuries, as Matt and Fairboy said, unfortunately, guys, we should let go of him. I know it's not that simple, but again, we should learn to have life after N'Golo Kante. We should just get another defensive midfielder or a player that will play his role. That's it, guys. Because at the moment, we need him. It's not available, and he's getting injured all the time. So, and you guys mentioned it, man management. Unfortunately, N'Golo Kante was not managed well. Now he's suffering. So as I said before, we just need to be careful on giving him a 3+1 contract, and on those 4 years, he end up being injured all the time. So that will be wasteful.
Yeah, I think Bolly would do that, but the whole thing starts maybe after, if he accepts again the new offer. I think Bolly knows what to do. I think he's looked at medical staff, and he's let a few of them go. And one of them joined, again, you could say, on an expatriate levels, which means, again, he doesn't trust them. And I think he'd find a solution to it. If we let him go, you'd see, again, one thing is sure, there will not be shortage of clubs vying for his signature. But I hate to see him really join a team like Arsenal. That would break my heart. Or even Tottenham. Chama says, again, just realize some people, again, are cruel playing on people's emotions. It's as simple as that, again, and I'm really pissed, but I'm going to try to move on with it. Again, if anybody thinks I'm wrong, just prove me otherwise. It's as simple as that. Coach, I want to join. I've told you what to do, brother. Again, I'll wait for your message on Twitter. Once I get it, I'll send you the link, and then you'd be on camera for at least 1 minute just to ID you. Then we'll move in. We'll move from there. Again, we don't give him time at all. That's the truth. Again, rush him, and then when he comes back, again, they expect him to do all the dirty work. Me personally, I would rather get rid of Jeff White and keep Kante. Right now, we can actually, I have to be honest, as much as I hate it, I was the one that preaching, again, chances are, if we play a few games without N'Golo Kante and do well in those games, chances are we'll have a false sense of security that we can actually do without him. But the truth remains, aside Thiago Silva, he's one of the biggest game players we have in the team. And I'll give you proof. We won a Europa League trophy with half-fit N'Golo Kante and a Champions League with N'Golo Kante who's not fully fit. That's how important he is.
He was man of the match, I believe, right? Exactly.
So I'd keep N'Golo Kante in the team even if I can get only 20 games from him. That's me. So let's move on from that one, please. Again, I really do not want to get into that. It's going to be really back and forth, and I understand where my brothers are coming from. Graham Potter on Thiago Silva. Again, I'm just going to read this one and we'll move for it. He's at the highest level you can think of as a character and as a man. Again, how he leads the team, how he's playing. He has made us some really important blocks and interceptions. He has that know-how that you cannot put a price on, which means, again, to me, keeping him, giving him an extension to stay at the club, again, it's non-negotiable. It's invaluable. Yeah, we should do all we can to keep him. His influence even goes beyond the pitch. Again, he's such a player for us. Again, this is about Kepa. Still, again, two of our players have made it into the who scored 11. Kepa in goal, and he has the highest rating there actually, 8.83. Anybody else close? 8.64, 8.03. The closest is West Mount, 8.64 actually. So two Chelsea players are top in there. So I'm not surprised with that. Anything else here to look at before we move on? Again, Thiago Silva kissing the badge. I don't even need to see that to understand how committed he is again to the Chelsea Football Club. Again, but that's, by the way, I think let's go into rating the match. Two different lineups, structures are showing. I think this, I'm going to go back to that one in a bit. Sorry about the blank screen. Let's start with this one here. This isn't really, I don't think this was really the structure. I think Google has the best structure there. So, Matt, I'm going to start with you. was going to start Matt somewhere else. But Matt will be very, very happy to speak about Kepa Arrizabalaga's performance yesterday. Matt, what do you think, Matt? What do you think about Kepa's performance yesterday? And again, I can't. Let me just leave it. You go ahead, bro.
Unbelievable. This guy is the man. He is here. I said it exactly a year ago. I said Kepa will overtake Mendy. I said Mendy's not a professional athlete. Right? Frauds laughed. Right? Comparing Kepa to Mendy, blah blah blah. Then came AFCON. Right? AFCON happened. Mendy lost form. And I knew that was gonna happen. And I said, you gotta drop Mendy ASAP. Right? Tuchel never did that. We jumped 6-7 months later. This new manager comes in, he starts Kepa. Right? This is a level of confidence. Right? Kepa's always been able to do this. It's the time when it's when he's been thrown in to do it. He executed perfectly. He knew he only had one chance to prove Potter, and he did it perfectly. This game showed that players can be revived. That players who work hard, that put their whole heart to the sport, can come back, and he's done that. His performance yesterday mirrored Czech, and I said when he says the words "I do" to his fiance, he will become our new Czech. He will be here for a long, long time if he continues his performance up. This is just a one game. He's had 3-4 perfectly good games. What he did yesterday, take away the saves. You look at his leadership. You look at his post-match interviews. You see what he does. This guy's more than a player. He's a professional footballer, and he's a good man. And this is the players that we need right now. We don't need no players who play for individual. He plays for the team. He helps the team. He said it months ago. And now that he's deserved and he's got a starting spot, that's when he's going to execute him the most. And you can't kill this guy's confidence. This guy's confidence is very, very high. He's undroppable right now. I don't see him ever being dropped. We've got Gaga Salina coming in. Absolutely fantastic. But on this game, he was outstanding. 10 out of 10 performance. Nothing got past him. Mount was good as well with him. But Kepa 100% deserved the man of the match. Unbelievable comeback he has had.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It wouldn't make any sort of sense, again, to drop him right now. Again, Mendy has to earn his place. If again in the Premier, I think Mendy will still start cup games. And again, the guy was just brilliant. And again, at the time where everybody was thinking he's going to sulk, he's going to start complaining, he did. He remained professional and was even helping Mendy. And we heard that story, and you did talk about it a few seconds ago, Matt. So what a professional he is, and we're starting to learn that actually he's again, leadership is he leads too. He leads, and it makes sense. And I think players will listen to him because he sees the game better than them. You can see him talking to his teammates. And again, I loved it when I saw that, and he's continued doing it even more, which means he didn't just sit on the bench and sulk. He sat on the bench. Again, maybe probably did a self-assessment, which is very important, and realized these are the things the things he needs to work on, and he's done quite well. He's not the tallest, but yet he commands his areas convincingly, even though he's not the tallest on the pitch. Again, I love it really. How about you, Tobago? Your thoughts on Kepa Arrizabalaga, his performance yesterday?
Kepa Arrizabalaga yesterday, 10 out of 10 performance. What a player. Oh, man. I enjoy those saves than man goals, because those saves were very important for us to keep us on the game. Because if it wasn't for him, we should have been embarrassed by Aston Villa. So big up to Kepa. I really appreciate it. And on this channel, we always fight for Kepa to be given enough time just to rest Mendy and stuff. I'm glad now he's getting his time and then he's doing well. So hopefully he keep this up in the next games. And I just want more clean sheets from Kepa. Thank you, guys.
Oh yeah, you just ended it like a chairman of a meeting or like a politician. Thank you, guys. Now I have to go.
Oh God.
No, but really, I agree with you, Tobago. That's that again. I couldn't agree more with you. How about you, Fairboy? What stood out for you again? Kepa's performance. Again, to me, it's always delicious to see how calm he is on the ball, even under pressure. But go ahead. I want to hear from you, Fairboy.
To be honest, I wasn't able to watch the game.
That's Tobago's ID.
No, relax. Yes. To be honest, yes. I wasn't able to watch the game. So I was hearing reports. Kepa was that good. He was saving. I was like, wait, really? So I had to watch the highlights. And goodness me, Kepa saving shots from outside the box. And I think there was one sequence where Kepa saved the shots, I think 3 times or so. He was absolutely good. And
I think what you're talking about, even though he had
Kepa
a lot of players in yeah, go ahead.
If Kepa is able to solve his stop shot shot stopping issues, I think with his passing ability, he'll be good to go because he was absolutely good. He was fantastic, right? My only issue is I want to wait for some time to see how this player will settle, especially when he gets comfortable with Graham Potter, because you know how the Chelsea players behave. When they get comfortable with a new manager, then they begin to misbehave. So I want to see. But from what I'm seeing from the past games, some of the big games that we've played against AC Milan, for instance, he was handy. He was quite good. So I hope he continues these good performances. Hopefully, he can continue to start for us because I think that one asset of his game that Mendy lacks is his ability to play the ball out of pressure. I thought that there was one sequence I watched where Kepa, even though he was pressured, he was able to find a release to Chilwell, and which was a very good. It was a calm and collected move from him. So I just hope that he continues to do well. He suffered a lot. We've been insulting him left, right, and center, but his redemption has finally come. I hope that he continues these good performances.
Yeah, again, even well spoken. Again, I want to make it a hybrid approach that we'll review, and at the same time we'll rate the player that we're talking about. We're not going to talk about all the players in detail as much as we'll do for some because we don't have too much time on our hand. Just quickly, let me catch up with the chat. I want to hear what Raja, who was a goalkeeper himself during his playing days, what he has to say about that. Again, thanks, Coach. You're on point. Kante should play every other week and keep him available for the biggest game. Clubs do that. I think we just have to find a way to manage this injury. Yes, guys, please, if your manager's fitness, I think that will be better understood. If you haven't, please do take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have just 33 likes. Again, we can do better than that, but only if you believe we can. Again, I'm looking. Chama Yosef, yes, to the crew. Again, let's see what we have here. The goalkeepers are competing against each other too. That's important. That's very important. But when Matt and I and Ty were arguing that Mendy was averaging a single mistake per game and should be dropped to the bench. And then actually, it wasn't hate. It wasn't a campaign, but it was called a campaign. It was called hate. I think some people even unsubscribed to the channel when we made a video, again, because they tried to say the yet another Mendy error. Nobody agreed, and Thomas Tuchel didn't handle it well. Again, there should be competition in everywhere. Otherwise, some people will take their positions for granted, even subconsciously, because it's a human thing. When things come for you without you working for it, again, you take it for granted even without knowing. So again, Kepa at this point is playing well. Do I think Mendy still have a chance? Of course he does still have a chance, even well equipped to do even better. But he has to earn it. And that's one thing I like about Graham Potter. And he clearly says, well, again, to him, there's competition in every position, and that's great. I just followed you on Twitter. Okay, just send the message and I'll share the link with you. Again, can you share the links? Yeah, you send me a message first, and I will accept your message. Let me know if you've done so. Again, Chami says again, he has to give it all. Otherwise, Mendy will take his place, and that's the way it should be. But under Thomas Tuchel, I don't think he felt Kepa again. Mendy felt he should give it all. He felt it's his place to take. He went to AFCON, and it was, again, when Kepa's brilliance was the reason why we even made it to the final of the Club World Cup. He returned to AFCON, and boom, he's in the final of the Club World Cup. Same thing as the Carabao Cup. Kepa's brilliance on the penalties he stopped helped us reach the final. And then we returned from the Club World Cup, and I was thinking maybe, okay, they shared the finals, and then boom, Mendes was he was the one between the sticks. So that to me, again, even though Mendy was averaging a single mistake before those two games, that to me will make him, feel like, even subconsciously feel like his place is not under threat. He has nothing to worry about at all. But I'm not going to get into that because really I get peace whenever I talk about that. Kuchila, Paul has only 4 options, all 10s. Yeah. Are you mad at that?
You should put 11 and 12.
Yes, people, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Before I move on from the Kepa talk, I want to say this quickly. And Roger has to speak about them. You don't treat players like you don't reward performance. You have to reward performance so that players would do well to get a chance to play. But if you don't reward performance, you see players, they won't even work that hard to get into the team. Can I give Kepa an 11? You can actually. Kepa he's playing well. That's the start. Again, Kepa wasn't mentally ready for England football. Again, when he arrived, and Lampard defense and left him exposed. Now he's got a braver for aerial balls. Mendy made too many unforced errors. Unforced errors is the key word. And where he should have let the ball, even put it forward, that would do. I still believe Mendy is our best goalkeeper since Petacek. It's your choice. We all see things from different lenses. But Roger, your thought, what do you think? His performance yesterday, I know it highlights the fact that our midfield was, in terms of stopping the opposition play, was crap. But what do you think about Kepa's performance yesterday?
Subtle, coach, real subtle. Yeah, of course, I agree. Yes, I echo the sentiments of the panel. I really do. I thought Kepa was exemplary. He really was. For instance, I remember he was getting a lot of stick about a year and a half ago, But if you notice, a lot of the goals he has conceded historically have been worldies, like the FA Cup final against Leicester. I don't think Mendy's saving that. It's in the top, was it left corner or right corner? I forget now. It's such a long time ago. But a lot of the time, he's not blessed with a long wingspan, But he reminds me of De Gea, and that's a huge compliment because I think for about 8 to 10 years, De Gea was the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, or at least top 2. Don't forget, he's Spanish. And what do Spanish goalkeepers do when they train? They train with the rest of the squad. And then after the rest of the squad has finished, then and only then do they practice goalkeeping routines. That's why they're so technical on the ball. And probably the same for Brazilian goalkeepers too. That was on display last night versus Liverpool City. You could tell the same. So I think Kepa is a world-class shot stopper, and he's very technical. His distribution is excellent. When I say distribution, his short to medium was excellent once again yesterday. It was outstanding. And you don't forget, when he stopped those 3 shots, the trifecta of saves, the third one wasn't counted because it was offside with his right arm. So you have to take that into consideration. So he really stopped 8, shots on goal, but the 8th was offside. So you need to take that into consideration also. I believe he warranted man of the match. I thought he was that outstanding. Without him, and don't forget, I've seen Mendy perform like this also. I rate both of them. They have different attributes in their position due to their physical attributes, but they're both very good players. I just believe that Mendy is average on his distribution, technically speaking, with his feet. Other than that, they're very strong. I think he should have received man of the match last night, because without him we would have lost.
I'm surprised. I thought Matt said that he just except if Matt was really joking.
What's that?
Matt told us that he won a Kepa. He received information that the Kepa won man of the match. I think he was joking. It doesn't take.
No, he did. He did. Go
Really?
to the Chelsea official page. It says Kepa
Oh,
man of the
okay. He
match.
deserves it. Again, he's the guy
There's a
that deserves to
picture.
win it. Honestly, I have to
100%.
be honest. Again,
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't him. A larger part of the Chelsea fan base is behind Kepa now. Even those that hated him. Again, here's the thing. Again, you could say every football fan doesn't really understand how football works. That's why in most cases they base their judgment on, again, you could say just eye test. Sometimes you need to go beyond eye test, and sometimes you need to go beyond the surface level to go. You have to, again, pay good attention to understand, again, how well, again, what a player brings to the team. Again, that's especially true when you talk about players like Jorginho and all that. I knew before time Kepa was good. I know Matt knew. I know Tytox knew. A lot of us knew, but some of us just basing again, maybe basing again, our emotions, you could say, impaired the way we judge Kepa based on, you could say, Mendy being the guy between the sticks when we won the Champions League final and all that. And how again, but that's the argument for me isn't that Mendy is a bad goalkeeper. Something isn't quite right, but he needs to sort it out as soon as possible. Yes, go check out again the Coolest Sales YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. And if you haven't, take a second to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Here we have again on the Fifth Stand app and the official Chelsea account fans voted for Kepa man of the match. Well deserved. Let's talk about again Thiago Silva, and I'll start with you, Fairboy. Again, I understand your internet is fluctuating. Again, that happens. What do you think about his performance yesterday? Okay, it looks like Fairboy isn't there. Matt, you can go ahead. Do I have anybody here? Roger, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, go ahead. Please talk about us again. Thiago Silva's performance yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he was solid.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you now, Matt.
Oh, there we go. Sorry,
Okay,
go on,
Roger.
Roger.
If you can wait, no problem. Go ahead, Matt.
Thiago
Silva for you.
Thiago Silva, yeah. Thiago Silva, I think it sucks to for him. You know, I think he has those games where he's fantastic, but we also got to look at it and go, yeah, he's 39, he's aging, he's not gonna have some of the best games. And yesterday he was I wouldn't say he was shocking, but he wasn't at the standard level. Now, obviously, you know, he will definitely start next game, but I've always said that Thiago Silva is an exceptional player who starts every single game that he's fit. And I will continue this Thiago Silva to be on the pitch 100%. But games like this where he might have a bit of an off game, that's what comes with that age, where he didn't make any major mistakes. He didn't do anything that was spectacular. He did his job. That's what he is. There's nothing much to say about him. I think he was just like decent. You know, he was good.
Yeah, it wasn't one of his best performances, but again, these guys were at us, so it's expected that they got exposed to everyone now and then. But again, you could say it could have been worse without his camera, presence. That's how I see it. Roger, how about you? What do you think? Roger, are you there?
I am.
Oh, okay. What do you think about Thiago Silva's performance yesterday?
Yeah, well, as I said, I thought across the board we were comprehensively poor for the most part. Mm-hmm. I didn't think Silva was that bad. I thought he was above average. He has a calming effect. He leads. I thought one of my observations while watching that match was historically throughout the whole game, we, for all intents and purposes, we lost the aerial battles incessantly. I thought that was shocking, and I thought that was across the board. I thought he played rather well, actually. I thought he was.
No, he wasn't poor, but I think it has to make sense that wasn't one of his best performances.
No,
and to me, it was down to the fact that they were on the front foot actually more than we did. But go ahead.
They were contributing factors to that. That we should go in detail later, maybe perhaps. But I think it wasn't solely down to him. I thought, considering what transpired, the formations or the people that were put in their respective positions, I thought he did well. It's a knock-on effect, It's like the defense. You just have to make one small error, and you generally concede a goal, okay, or concede a chance that leads to a goal, whether it be a corner or so forth. But in offense, for instance, if you lose the ball or make a mistake or you miss a shot, you don't concede. So there's less tolerance on that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I should say more tolerance, actually, if you get my meaning. So, but I thought he was. I didn't think he was poor. I didn't think he was great. I thought he was slightly above average, if anything. I thought he was solid.
Yeah, a solid performance. But just like Matt said again, I think alluded to, it wasn't his best performance, but he did well. And I think the chat thinks again 50-50. I don't want to be the tiebreaker there. Let me just say a 7 will be fine. It wasn't the best of games for me, but he still got the job done.
I rated him a 7 also on the BBC app. I gave him a 7.
Yeah, I think he deserves a 7. How about you? While I'm still with you, Roger, your thoughts on again Chalobah yesterday?
Yeah, I thought he wasn't. I thought he wasn't that bad. See, that game was a game of two halves. The first half and the second half. We were far more composed after adjustments were made. But he stayed on the pitch. I don't believe he was substituted. Chalobah was, I thought, quite good. I thought, forget about the win streak. That's really inconsequential. I'm referring to his composure on the ball and what he did. I thought he was solid also. I really did. We paid a lot of money for Fofana, and I'm looking at each and every time now I'm watching Chalobah play. I think he's equal to Fofana in many regards. I really do.
The grass is always greener on the other side.
No, of course, I understand that. But yeah, I thought he was equally as good as Silva in some regards. I would give him a 7. I thought he was solid.
Here's one thing I really would talk about. I think the truth remains. It will be really difficult for a lot of people to accept that the defense did well given how many shots. And again, technically, you could say yes. You could say the defense struggled. But for some other reason in the team that most people will not talk about, they just jump to the defense was awful. Again, to me, I'm going to talk about that in a bit. I think it was due to lack of proper protection from the midfield, or the midfield not doing the job in the defensive aspect of the whole thing.
Coach, yeah. you can say that the forward players didn't protect the midfield. It's further up the line. Don't forget, in today's game, the pressing and the closing down starts up front. And if that doesn't transpire with a person like Aubameyang, who didn't bring anything to that aspect of the game, then there's a knock-on effect. So yes, you're right. It does continue to the midfield, and in turn, then by osmosis, reaches the defensive portion of the team. Does that make sense?
He has a clearance of 6. I think that's the highest on the day. I mean, Chalobah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I think he had the highest of the team. Header clearance is 4. Total clearances is 6. Interceptions 1. Recoveries 5 recoveries. Ground duels 1 over 4. That's where, again, that's 4. So you could argue because they were exposed. Again, that again it trickles down. It could affect the players' overall performance in the team. But I get your point. Matt, how about you? What do you make of Chalobah's performance yesterday?
I think Chalobah's done well in not replacing, but filling in for Fofana. I think he's done that very, very well, and that's why I definitely
would you say, why you added? Would you say defensively he's a better player than Fofana is?
No. I think Fofana's a better player than Chalobah. But I think Chalobah's a good player.
Specifically defensively, really.
No, I think Fofana's better than him in all attributes. but I don't take away that Chalobah's a good player. He's still a very good player, and that's why I want to keep him. And I think he's filling in great. And this is the role I gave him. I said, if we ever get injuries, I think he's that man to step up. And he's done that great. But I highly think Fofana is much better than him, but he had a good game. I think Thiago Silva, I'll probably give it like a 6.5, and exactly the same thing to Chalobah. I think 6.5 is because like in transitioning we got done. They took us a lot of our players on. Again in the air we weren't that good. Even physical wise we weren't that good. It's just that I think we were too calm. That's the thing we had back there. We were just too calm. But Chalobah kept his composure, and I think he did well. But yeah, for me,
So
there's
how
nothing
would
really to
you
say about them two.
rate? How would you rate
I'll give him a
Chalobah
6.5.
overall? 6. Again, originally, what did you rate him? Again, I think Roger has rated him.
I'm sorry, I give him a 7. Sorry, I didn't realize I had my mute.
7. I think I'll get what again. Why wait for the chat to round up? I'll go. Mike, I'm still with you. How about Cucurella? You're rating for Cucurella yesterday.
Oh, Cucurella, honestly, I think a 3. I think he was a 4. Like he was honestly shocking. I don't know, maybe if that because it wasn't really that position for him. I always thought he could have played that left centre back role. I thought he could have done that quite well, but I don't think he had it in him, which was for me was shocking. I said it. I said I think Cucurella should be starting in that left centre back option a lot. And have Chilwell just ahead of him, and I think Potter did that, but it just didn't work out, and I was confused. I thought he would have done very well in there, but he just I don't know, didn't show up. He was tactically all over the place. He got taken on a lot, and I don't think he implemented any support to anything. So he just had a very shocking game. But it's Cucurella. We all rate him, and I think he'll jump back from this. But this game he was horrible. I think I'll give him a 4.
Yeah. Again, but nothing taken away from Kepa's performance. Again, to me, good morning. Again, Jump Order Entertainment. Good morning to you too. I hope you're doing it well, brother. Here's the thing about Cucurella. I think for me, I'm still gonna go back. I don't blame our defense so much. I'm still gonna go back to how disjointed our midfield, how they was, especially during the first half. We weren't able, to coordinate the play. Again, you could say until Jorginho came on, that was when things changed. Everybody that remained on the pitch played better. I'd say, to me, I'll get into the changes again that really made me mad. I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong rating for Chalobah. But that's, by the way, again, Roger, how about you, Cucurella? What your thoughts on his performance yesterday?
Yes, I have to echo those sentiments. I thought he was inept. I thought he was very poor. I give him a 3. 2 points for basically having a pulse and 1 point for putting his boots on. It's simple as that. He was that poor. I don't know. I thought he was equally the poorest player on the field. He looked out of sorts completely. His passing was shocking. It's just the whole aspect of him. Listen, he was substituted at half time when you consider that Chile was yellow carded. That should illustrate how poorly he played. I was.
Do I really? For me, I don't think he should have. I think Shewa should have been the one to go off.
Listen, they were both poor. Don't get me wrong. I'm not giving an 11 out of 10 to Chile. Trust me, he was very poor also. But I thought Cucurella was warranted to be substitute. My first observations were like the 35th minute or roundabout. Then I was thinking, let's get to half time and keep a clean sheet, and then take off Aubameyang and Cucurella. That was my 2 thoughts. I thought those 2 were, and Sterling too. Don't get me wrong, but Cucurella stood out. I know, but Cucurella for me stood out, as did Chilwell also. But I thought more so Cucurella. I agree with Matt on that regard. I thought he was very poor and unexpectedly so. I didn't see that coming. I really didn't see that coming.
Wow. Again, for me, because I have a reason where I think the issue stems, the issue he had again stems from. I'm not gonna. I don't.
What bit playing out of position?
I'm not gonna be. No, I think he played again. He's usually comfortable playing. I think the whole team for me. Let me just say a bit of it now. Started again the poor. You could say lack of proper play from the coordination from the midfield. I think that's what led to our defense suffering the way they did yesterday. Even Thiago Silva himself saying they're a bit confused. But we'll move on about it. While I'm stay with you, Roger, how about your rating for Ben Chilwell?
Yeah, I give him a 3. To me, it was a comprehensive across the board, with one or two exceptions. It was comprehensively poor play by so many of their players, starting players, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure whether in America there's an expression, and I've seen it in so many interviews post-match, especially in the NFL. Sorry, I wasn't up for the game. And I've mentioned this before. It's like going to a restaurant and getting food poisoning, and the chef coming out and saying, "Sorry, I wasn't up for cooking your food right." You'd be fired. Any other job, you'd be fired for saying that. Or sorry, your son's leg was amputated. Well, I wasn't up for the surgery. Can you imagine? I know this is sport, it's entertainment, it's not life. But this is how it is. And to me, his head wasn't in the game. So I gave him a 3. Yeah. I thought he was abysmal.
He was. But you can say defensively, some good work from him. But his overall play.
Even when he wasn't under pressure, though, there were certain players that were not under pressure and were still putrid, horrid. Does that make sense?
And honestly, he kills our attack.
So did Chil. I counted 6 consecutive backward passes, and I haven't seen the game the second time. The Chilwell
unnecessary backward passes.
Yes, it's like wow. It's like you can put me on the field. I can do that. It's ridiculous. But
indeed ridiculous. Yeah, so, Matt, your thoughts on Ben Chilwell's performance yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great. He doesn't take risks anymore. He used to be that guy. Used to be playing, have some forward pass him, and now just just plays it back. And people complain that Jorginho do it, but then the same Chile fans, don't complain about Chilwell. Chilwell is a player, just keeps going back and back and back. And
is this a psychological issue with him post surgery? I'm not making excuses. I'm just being honest, because he's not the same player he was prior to the Juventus game.
I think we knew that. That's why I think we were running Cucurella.
Hasn't been anything close to that. Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
And that's why I think we were running Cucurella, and that's why I always say I think Cucurella is going to be Chilwell's replacement.
Sure,
but it doesn't mean that Chilwell's going to be a bad player. I think Chilwell's still a good player. I think it's that he's just not that guy anymore. Well, he hasn't been that guy. Maybe I hope that guy can come back.
Yeah, that's fine.
We need that guy back. We need that old Chilwell back. But I'm not sure if it's going to happen. But I'll probably give him a 5. That game wasn't that good.
Who, Chilwell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving him a 4.
I think can we look at his numbers defensively? I think he did well defensively overall. It's important that we do that.
That Bailey cross came on his side, didn't it? And he was there, and he got taken on.
Oh my goodness! Attacking, he was shocking. 0.2 attempts on crosses. Accurate 1 goals, 2 out of 7. Shocking 2.
Jeez.
And when Bailey, Coach, when Bailey hit the post, Chilwell was in front of him, and he jumped too early. And if you look at his feet, he hardly got off the ground. He didn't leave that.
0 out of 4, 1.
Bailey should never have had that header.
Yeah, that's horrible indeed. This sucked yesterday.
He was putrid.
He sucked really, and that's no me joking really.
And that's being constructive.
Let's talk about Kovacic yesterday. What do you think about his performance?
Oh, even he was bad. He was shocking. And that first 40 minutes, I was like, "What's happening to Kovacic?" He was shocking, man. I mean, I don't know how. Again, I think it's just these players, with the Chilwell to talk about. Like we know they're good. It's just that they're just having this one-off game, and we're just shocked.
Yeah.
How bad they were
across the board. Yeah.
And I've always said that Kovacic can never play with the dribble off the cheek. I said that matchup never works. It's a horrible matchup, and I'll probably give Kovacic the same, a 5.5. I just don't know what was happening. Honestly, he was shocking.
I didn't think.
Yeah, indeed. Roger, how about you?
I'd have to see I'm going to watch the game again this afternoon. I didn't think he was that bad initially. My observation, it could change very much so since when I watched it the second time. But from the initial viewing, I didn't think At least he didn't stick out to me as poorly when compared to Chilwell and Cucurella. So I would probably give him a 6 for my initial. I mean, maybe a 5, but I would say a 6 right now. So I didn't think he stunk that badly.
You can say he wasn't that poor, but again, he was shocking given his standards. How we know he can play.
Yeah,
but he was poor.
Usually he gets a 7 to a 7.5, but I would give him a 6.
Matt, how about you?
For Loftus-Cheek?
No, Kovacic.
I already said Kovacic.
Oh, you've written it, and let's say just quickly. Let's look at
it's a 5. A 5.
I think he was yesterday. Really, truthfully, he was poor. Let's look at his contributions. Yeah, to shot to that. I don't expect that one from him that much.
He had one horrible.
Yeah, that's usual. Yeah, accurate long balls. 2 out of 6. That's 4 tackles. At least he won 2 tackles. Ground duels 1, 2 out of 5. That's you could say not really bad, but poor. Aerial duels 1 out of 2, 50%. That's but yeah, it wasn't up to him. And usually he has more balls into the final third. Let's see that one. Where is it? A
few times he turned with the ball and progressed
7.
the ball.
This, again, usually because he plays close to that area. Go ahead.
Yeah, you usually I noticed a few times when receiving the ball, he turned and progressed the ball further up the field. So I didn't think he had that much of a shocking game compared to some of his colleagues. But no comment.
He was shocking, really. So Roger, while I'm with you, please don't be biased. Your boy loves to shake. How well did you think he did yesterday?
I knew you were going to give me grief. Well, the second half was completely different. He was put in a different position in the second half. The first half, he played quite poorly. I don't know whether it's their mind wasn't in the game because it was comprehensively the whole team, for the most part, as a unit, didn't show up. So either that's the mentality where they were looking ahead, or it was also the fact they were outmanned in the midfield. Maybe it should have been a different formation. So it could be a combination of many things. But I'm trying to think. He got fouled a few times. I remember that, and he tried. I still think it was one of his poorest games. I would give him a 6 also.
But you can say I would still say I think he's one of the best players on the day, even though he wasn't one of his best.
No,
let me catch up with the chat. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it wasn't really, with the exception of Kepa and Mount. You can say most of them were very subpar.
Yeah, all of them were. Again, let me see what else we have here. Again, Jumpert says a 7.5. Here he says that Leon Bailey made me very happy about his performance against us. I was, again, ever happier. He didn't score. I think Chelsea should restart their campaign to get him to, again, not just from judging from a single game, but he did well. I was disappointed with Sterling, Kai, and Chilwell, from especially Sterling. I wish Potter start with Pulisic. Was Kovacic prohibited from trying to shoot? I'm really not sure. I think he hasn't been quite the guy we know for a while. And I'm not sure why, really, I have to be honest. But again, I think he's still recovering from an injury. You remember, he wasn't even fully fit during the preseason. So maybe he's still recovering from something, but we'll see what happens. Again, Kepa showed, a super keeper performance yesterday. Overall, I think it's going to be really difficult for Mendy. As much as I know he's well equipped to regain the first spot, but we'll see what happens. Good morning again. As somebody saying good morning to Just Well. Starling's shooting sometimes let him down. Not just that, his first touch, his overall gameplay. Again, sometimes he passes the ball so slow that before he gets to the intended individual opposition players usually take it. Kepa is 10 out of 10 again. He's getting a 10. If I have missed that rating, he got a 10 from most people. Raheem Sterling has 0 playmaking ability, negative first touch, no imagination. Again, execution poor. Also, we need an X factor forward. we'll make do with what we have at this point, but I get your argument. Chilwell should have had a red card. Yeah, but did his feet lick the ground in that instant? I don't remember.
It was very low. It was a purple.
So it didn't leave the ground. Had its feet gone up a bit, I think he would have been in serious trouble. Here we have again. Every outfield player yesterday was awful. The goals again were fortunate. Relied on two absolute howlers, one from Minks and another from Amy.
Yes. Correct.
But the second, I still say, I think it was quick thinking from Mount, because you could argue Mount saw that Martinez was making a move towards his left, and he took it immediately after Emi Martinez. Again, the moment he was done organizing his defense in terms of where to stand. That's a trick that if you're a smart player, you pay attention. Sometimes he still be organizing it as long as the referee has given you the go ahead. As much as you feel like you take the free kick. So it was this calculation, the timing. I give Mount credit. Honestly, I wouldn't say everything is again. I don't know how it's to phrase it, but I will come to that when it gets to Mount. We'll talk about his 2 goals in detail. But I get where your argument is coming from. Realistically, Villa should have probably scored a few against us. But Kepa was the big difference, and Villa played a stupidity as well. Again, that's a game I'd argue we were lucky to win. But again, kudos to Kepa, not taking anything away from him. Villa tried, but he was brilliant on the day. If getting engaged makes a guy play like this,
that's funny.
No, here's the thing. Marriage for either parties, man and woman, can make a huge difference. It can make or mar your future. That's the thing. Let me just stop at that. Again, getting him to Jamaica so I can hook him up with one of my... Yeah, I get it. Again, Sterling is on the same level as Pedro and Willian. Again, we need X-factor forwards. He isn't. We haven't been able to, get players or even close to doing as well as those guys did. For a guy on 325K a week, Sterling needs to do more. Maybe that's where the problem lies. But I hope he comes good. He started well. I hope he regains his form because something seemed off of late. Mount is outperforming him even when he drops a poor games. That's the truth. Hi, Coach and Blues. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Lalo, a good friend of the channel and a good friend of Chelsea. Let me say that way. And I'm still saying maybe I think you're secretly a Chelsea fan. But nice to see you, Lalo. I hope you're well. Credit to Mount on poaching that goal, though. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for doing that. I love you for that. Hudson-Odoi needs a Sterling speed. Again, Sterling needs... Maybe they should do a bit of trade by barter. Give me a few of this quality that I need. And I'll give you a few of the qualities that I have that will make you better. Maybe that's the case. The free kick was beautiful. It dipped, more importantly. Most people are not playing that. It dipped. I think that's one of the reasons why, again, you can say Martinez didn't get close to it. Again, Emi Martinez wasn't able to save it. He wasn't. And the timing was also just perfect.
It was a keeping error, Coach.
Yeah, it was a good free kick. It was a good free kick.
It's not even close to the corner. It's just off centre.
We'll get to that. And by the way, I think most probably, Matt and I had a collab, and probably most likely will be a back-to-Kepa Arrizabalaga. I'd be surprised if he chooses another player. But
No.
He has to do that of his twin brother. Matt, I don't know. Have you spoken about Ruben?
No, I haven't. I'll just quickly say. I mean, I think he had a decent game, but I've seen this with Ruben. We've been there. We've done that with this guy. Where I think he has his small run of forms, and then I think it dips off a bit. But that game, he was good. I will give him a 6. I think it was quite good. But I've said I think Kovacic and Loftus can't play together. This doesn't work out.
Unfortunately, I think that's how Potter prefers. Again, he prefers.
It's like putting water with oil. It's not going to work with them two.
Accurate passes 45 out of 53. That's not bad, but there are some stuff I'm looking for here. Okay, forget about the fantasy point. Touches 74. Successful dribbles 1 out of 3. That's poor. passes into the final third. That's again a 3. Even though he played, I think he played closer in the final third. So something was off from his over area also. Accurate long balls 2 out of 4, 50%. You could say good enough. Tackles 1 out of 1. Yeah, it wasn't a good day at the office for him really. Ground duels 7 out of 12, 58. Nice anyway. Air duels 0 out of 1. Was fouled 5 times. Again, fouls committed 1. It wasn't the best of performances for him, but I think he did well enough. And here we have again a win against Brentford could bring Chelsea closer to Manchester City on the league table. I think we're winning that one again, but I don't want. We'll talk about Graham Potter anyway. Again, Pulisic needs to start against Brentford. Only Mount and Kepa deserves to keep their places. I think rotation will be key. Bailey is a better ball carrier than Sterling. He only needs a better club. I hope Bali was watching it. You can't judge by just a single game. Plus, Bali is a numbers man. I don't think he had enough numbers yesterday to convince him otherwise. I think they'd be looking at his overall numbers at Aston Villa. Dennis was on the bench yesterday, though he was going to get 5 minutes in the game. You thought? Let's see. Jorginho made a lot of difference when he came out, and we knew during the watch along we were calling. The game clearly was calling for Jorginho. Say anything you want about Jorginho. Yes, we're well acquainted with his deficiencies, but this team right now simply cannot do with it, Jorginho, in most cases. Again, there are games like such as the one yesterday. We needed to control the game. We needed to sometimes slow things down, but we weren't able to do that, and that was a big problem. So, but that's by the way. Again, we've looked at the Ruben's numbers. Coverages, we've read the coverages.
Hey, Coach. Coach, I need to ask you. When you have a dribble, when you're dribbling the ball and you're fouled, is that construed as a failed dribble or a positive dribble? What is the definition of that?
I'm not sure how they do, but it shouldn't really. The failed dribble is when you get the ball cleanly. It should be when the opposition gets the ball from you cleanly. I don't think it should count when you're fouled. I don't think it should count as the ball being taken away from you. But I don't know the criteria which they use.
Because he was fouled quite often when he was trying to dribble. That's why I mentioned.
Yeah, he was. I don't think. I think I'll look at it. Maybe if we look at compare the two numbers of failed again dribbles and fouls, maybe that will give us a clue whether that number is used. Yeah. Whether again how that is determined.
Just a thought.
It says again, Jorginho, he made quite a lot of difference, and thank you so much. And guys, please keep liking the video. We are again 42 likes. I know we can do better than that. If you haven't, please do take a second to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So yeah, let's start with your cousin again, Starling. Roger, I'm talking to you really. Let's do Starling.
No, do we have to?
Yeah, we have to really.
I'm joking. As I said, and I've said this the past few weeks, I've watched him extensively play for Liverpool. Then I watched him improve tremendously under Pep. Mostly his ability to make intelligent runs to the back post and the near post. I can see that he's excellent at that, and I think we have to give credit to Pep for this because he has been transformed. Having said that, his first touch has always been very poor. He's not technical. And he does this for England. He's so overhyped. I'm not a big Sterling fan. When I first heard that he could be coming to Chelsea, I was like, please. I was so against it. And, I'm sorry. He's got speed and he makes intelligent runs. But his first touch, that's why I said the last couple of weeks, I would prefer Jesus over Sterling. Different positions, but I don't rate Sterling. And what you're seeing the last couple of weeks is what I've been trying to say. I'm being honest with you. I don't rate him.
Here's the thing. I think you could argue it was really difficult to notice, again, his deficiencies under Pep because the Man City team is, you can say, an environment where teamwork trumps individual plays mainly. So it was about really passing the ball, keeping the ball, and not about a single individual. Even I don't know how to talk about that for it to make sense. But Matt, your thoughts on Raheem Sterling's performance Lord, let's just quickly look at his numbers before you comment. If you're still with us here, again, I think it was shocking. I don't even know how he played. He stayed on the pitch until the 69 minutes. And I didn't even think he should have started this game. I think Christian Pulisic deserved to start over him. Or even if he can, again, he's been poor for the 3 stinkers in a row now.
Well, don't forget, Coach, he was played out of position the first 45 minutes, so we have to be objective.
He's played there before. The out of position in person was the place he played. Position. Again, one of the first games he played on the ground, and he did well.
Sure. Well, yes.
But what happened when he switched position to he was still poor?
Coach, let me say one thing. That was in the 3-5-2. It's a different formation. Okay, so that's when you have one extra person in midfield, so that can actually switch to aid that. You know, he wasn't in the first game in the European Cup. He wasn't really asked that much to track back. This game he was, because we weren't playing a 3-5-2. I'm defending him, which I don't want to do, but I'm just being objective here. You have to look at that, okay, with a glint of honesty there. So he's it's like putting Mendy in a number 9 position. It's not fair to him. But having said that, even when he went forward, you know, in the second half, when he was given a more forward position, a number 10, so to speak, his normal, he was still horrible. I don't rate him, I told you, but I'm giving him some due diligence here with regards to being objective and fair, that he was way out of position. And you can't compare the 2 games, because what was asked of him in the first game in the Champions League was different. You can tell that straight away. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I totally honestly understand your opinion. Let's look at his numbers before I bring in Matt. His rating is, again, 6.9 minutes played, 8 to 9 minutes. For me, he stayed too long on the pitch. He should have 3 shots. Again, let's look at this. Accurate passes, 12 out of 14, 86.
Coach, what's his rating?
Sorry,
what did you say his rating was?
6.9 here.
Please tell me that's a negative 6.9.
No. Yeah.
Come on, no way. 6.9.
Yeah, 30 shots, 3 for his passes. I'm not surprised, because usually his passes are mainly separate option side, with just the Man City tradition to keep the ball. Chances created 1. Expected goals, again, at 0.31. Expected goals on target, 0.15. Expected assists, 0.02. Forget about the fantasy point. The shot accuracy, 1 out of 3, 33. So that's poor, really. That's seriously poor with the playoff his experience and everything. Let's see, again, his with that attack at 1.3. Again, touches, 30 touches. So he didn't participate in the play that much, actually. You can say a lot of, again, I'm not sure why. Successful dribbles, 0 out of 2. So this shows you his was really poor, because dribble, sometimes he gets it right. Again, accurate crosses, 0 out of 1 attempt. Offside 1 time. Dispossessed 3 times. So this really doesn't correspond with what's that one again? What was that number we were looking at again, to be sure what we're doing here?
6.9, right?
Maybe I'll take some time to look at it again independently, so I don't get confused with what I'm doing. Ground rules, one of 6. I wouldn't give him that, but again, he was shocking, really.
And coach, don't forget, wasn't his last dribbles in the previous game 0 out of 2 or 0 out of 3, something like that? Also,
yeah, something like that. So he's not poor in dribble. Again, we've noticed that. So I didn't expect him to start this. To me, we'll get into that in a bit, because there are arguments now that looks like Potter is a bit biased, because honestly, I'm going to be serious again. He had no business starting this game. 2 factors. If we're really rotating the team, it should have been Christian Pulisic, who played well against Wolves, or even what's his name, Conor Gallagher, who played well against Wolves. I didn't play against AC Milan, so should have played this. And this guy played 90 minutes against AC Milan, if you ask me. Matt, your thoughts on Raheem Sterling again in that game?
I think Sterling was pretty poor. He's been poor recently, but it's nothing for me to be concerned about. I think, you know, we look at it and we go, you know, I don't think anyone really played well this game. I wouldn't target Sterling, but I think he needs to definitely work on shooting quicker. I mean, last game wasn't really a factor, but I just think, you know, Sterling's 45 minutes in that right wing back. You know, we know he can't play there. And then halftime, he realized that. I think halftime he found it a bit more, but he still wasn't there. but he's still a good player. I would have rested him this game. I would take him off, 60th minute, Pulisic on.
Matt,
think,
do you rate him then? Well, apart from this game, generally speaking, in his career, do you rate him?
I never really wanted him.
Yeah,
but when we were linked with him, I was like, okay, this can work, and I don't mind the player. I like him. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's. I don't know. I like him. I definitely think he's a Chelsea player. I think he's our best attacker. But that says a lot. Our attack's quite shit. But I think he's a good player.
He had no business starting this game, man. Given his recent
I wouldn't have started him honestly. But when he started, I may have rested in Brentford, but I still think he's our best attacker. I think he needs to start the big games. Maybe this was a big game to Potter to prove something. But he's still a good player. But I'll probably give him a 5.5. I think he was quite poor. But I think that comes down to a lot of his playing in that right wing back position.
I gave him a 3. I'm being honest. I'm being seriously 2 for having a pulse, and 1 for being able to tie his boots, his shoelaces. That's it. I thought he was horrible. I thought, but now you know what? And I'm taking into account the first 45 minutes. You have to give him a rain check on that because he was so out of position. He was asked to do different things. But even when he hit the post, which is, by the way, not an accurate shot, it's not considered a shot on goal. He was able to trap the ball and slightly move it forward. He had no one opposing him. It was like 3 or 4 yards in front. So you should at least test the keeper.
Here's something Matt said again that hit the nerve really. Is he should shoot quicker. If you paid attention to the Aubameyang goal against AC Milan, it was his to take. But he was reluctant. He's reluctant. And had Aubameyang not taken that shot, he would have drifted away to an impossible angle, which means Sterling would now try to cut back in before he shoots.
So, coach, if the positions were reversed, where Aubameyang was in Sterling's position and vice versa, do you think Sterling puts? No. Do you think he puts it away? Do you think he scores? I don't.
One time, Aubameyang wouldn't wait.
No. I'm saying if Sterling was in Aubameyang's position and Aubameyang was in Sterling's position, would
Sterling wouldn't get to see the ball.
Yeah, well, let's say hypothetically he did. Would he have scored? That's my question.
Yeah, even Aubameyang took that shot quickly. I was yelling, shoot. Look, he was hesitant. Even before Aubameyang took it from him. Even if Aubameyang said, wait, why would you listen? You're in a better position to shoot. And Aubameyang was behind you and had to run to come and shoot. So something is wrong, and it looks like it's affecting his confidence too. But go ahead.
My question was, had he been in his shoes, would he have scored? Yes or no?
That is, if the case was vice versa. If Aubameyang was the guy,
yes,
he'd
exactly.
take it. He'd score. Yeah, that's why when you ask that question, and I say,
no, I'm talking about. I don't. Okay, so I'm saying if Sterling had received the ball in Aubameyang's position, would Sterling have scored? That's my question.
You remember Aubameyang was behind him, right?
Yeah. Yes. Do you understand the question, though, sir?
That's I'm trying to understand the question. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I don't get it correctly.
Okay, no problem. We can move on.
No. Try to explain. Let me explain.
Okay. So right now, if you swap people, Aubameyang with Sterling and vice versa, and let's say Sterling received the ball just like Aubameyang did, Pierre-Emerick, would Sterling have finished the ball in the back of the net? Would he have scored?
You're still talking about the game AC Milan, right?
Affirmative, yes, sir.
Here's the thing. I'm finding it difficult to understand what your question is. Had Aubameyang been in Sterling's position and Sterling being in Aubameyang's position, that's if the case was vice versa on the position of the players.
Yes.
I just said Sterling wouldn't even get the chance to see the ball, let alone being the one to shoot. Aubameyang would shoot. But Sterling was a bit hesitant.
Sure. But my question is...
why Aubameyang got the chance to even be the one to shoot.
Yes, but I'm saying, had he been in his position and received the ball, that's the key of the question, would he have been able to score? I actually doubt that.
I think he would, really. Okay. Sure. Because you could argue where Aubameyang took the shot from was actually beyond Sterling a bit. because Sterling didn't really move away to make space for him.
I see him hitting the side netting, in my opinion.
Okay, I get it. Let me again read what we have in the channel. Quickly come back again. Come on, guys. Only 40 likes. We can do better than that. 45 right now. But let's take it up again. Like and subscribe and share. Again, please do that. Again, Holland didn't score yesterday. Haaland, yep, he didn't score. It was a frustrating game for him, and they had to again. A goal had to be called again. A foul had to be called. The goal that Foden scored because he pulled someone's shirt. And I think it was the right call anyway. Again, no, Sterling at right wing back. No, that's alien to him. That's alien to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Again, he should be able to operate it. He's played there before, and he said he enjoyed it. When you play there, actually, you have a lot of spaces to operate in. I didn't think that was the issue. The last game, he didn't play there. If you're going to argue that, something is really wrong, honestly. But I think he'll be back. Sterling, again, his first touch is so poor. The ball always gets caught under his feet. We are better with Pulisic. Sterling is a confident, again, a version of Werner. Yeah, no. I think he's a bit better. But that's why, again, Sterling was poor yesterday. He was really poor. Sterling needs help, again, front in order. And I think a lot of stuff was wrong yesterday, but we'll deep dive into that. I think we still have a bit of time to complete the rating and get to that. Sterling and Chilwell was two players on the pitch. Yep. Yes, I think so too. I didn't think Kukurea, again, deserves to be subbed. I think Chilwell should have gone up. Again, in the sense that since Koulibaly was coming on, Koulibaly to play on the left and then Kukurea play for the forward, he makes quicker decisions in terms of putting the ball in the box. I think Pulisic needs to start the next match instead of Sterling. That will happen now because I don't know how Graham Potter will expect that. I'm still waiting for Pulisic's dad's tweet regarding why he didn't start. Again, hit the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Please do that. 46 likes. We can do better than that. Sterling would do better, guys. Again, I'm not worried. Again, I'm not too worried, but at this point, he has no business starting that game. It's as simple as that. That's my argument. More for Arteta in order to score goals again. But overall, a lot of the players yesterday played badly. I agree at 3. Jorginho is a fantastic. Game was completely in our hands as soon as he stepped on. Again, during the first half, actually, again, I was calling, we were, during the watch along, bring him on. The game was calling for George's experience, his ability to control the tempo of the game. We needed him. You could argue that was why these guys got to us. How many times did they? Even on his worst day, Jorginho would be able to, frustrate the opposition by slowing the game down a bit, because sometimes that's what you need to do when oppositions come at you like this constantly. You need to slow the game down a bit. Loftus-Cheek couldn't do that. Kovacic couldn't do that. The only person that tried to do it was Thiago Silva. But after all, the ball will still leave him, get to the midfielder who will be too in a hurry, and Aston Villa gets it and comes back to us again. So it was just a cat and mouse yesterday. No way Sterling hasn't got that finished. Yeah, exactly. But that's, by the way, now, Matt, let's talk about, again, I want Mount to be the last guy now. Let's talk about Havertz. Your thoughts on his performance yesterday. I'd be surprised again.
Next.
Next, I can't believe anything nice for him. Go ahead.
I've said it. I said Havertz, it's the same thing up and down. It's either Havertz or Mount. One of them is bad. And Havertz, I don't rate him. I never rated him. Maybe there's something there in him. I said if he doesn't give me numbers this season, he has to go. And it doesn't look like he's going to be giving me any numbers. So start packing the bags. But yesterday's game, not much said. I think he's just horrendous. But he's still living off that Porto goal, and we need to get that out of our head and consider what's been happening recently, and just say this guy is horrible. I think he was one of the worst players on the pitch, and I'll give him a 3.
Wow. I don't see it that way, but I need to watch the game again this afternoon.
Go ahead, Roger. Maybe you need to watch it. I think it was awful, bad touches and all that.
I thought he was 4, but I didn't think he was 3. I would have given him a 6. I'm serious. It's not what he does with the ball. It's what he does off the ball also. His application. He does a lot of the legwork. And so
that only works honestly for amateur football. I think in professional football,
really?
I'll give you a point. I'll give you points.
speak to Klopp because
I'll give
that's
you
what
points,
that's
but
their ethos.
I'm not gonna keep a player just because he runs up and down. Like that's why
No,
I'm
I know.
against Werner and stuff like that.
You know, Roger just rate him. Mount has done his bit, and I'm with
But
Matt.
here's
Honestly,
the
he
deal,
was
though. That's
horrendous
cool.
yesterday.
Here's the deal. You chaps are talking about Jorginho, right? Okay, I'll give you a point. I'm going to make my point here, and this is to me what was the key to changing the game, where Chelsea improved, and that's not when Jorginho came on. He came on in the 65th minute. What was more important was when Gallagher replaced Aubameyang in the 58th. That's when you saw a lot more application, running around and pressing and closing down. That's when it changed. And then I believe Jorginho came on for Kova in the 65th. And that's when you saw also the game improve. It wasn't just Jorginho with the tempo. It was also the fact that Aubameyang was poor. Watch him. I was shocked. He was the main person I watched the first 15, 20 minutes, how little he did on the pitch. It was shocking. And so Gallagher actually contributed to that prior to actually, what's his name? J5 coming on. So that's my belief, and that's what I saw. I'll watch it again tonight, and I'll let you know tomorrow. But that's what my initial observations. I thought Kai had a poor game, but I don't think it was to that level. Maybe I will stand corrected when I revisit the game this afternoon.
Yep. Again, let's see what we have here. It says, again, he's smoking something. Who exactly is smoking something? I don't know. Roger, while I'm with you, again, your rating for, again, Aubameyang, I think we're going to leave Mount for last.
Yeah, I'm giving him a 3. There were 3 very poor players, Cucurella, Sterling, and Aubameyang.
Honestly, it doesn't sound like we won 2-0.
No, Jimmy, I'm going to say something. Had we, let's say, we had drawn, no matter what the score was, I would have come away saying, wow, we were lucky to get a draw.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so shocked we won 2-0. I'm so shocked.
To actually come away, Matt, and think we won that game, it's shocking.
It felt like a loss. Honestly, it felt like a loss.
It felt like a loss. I've said historically before, I'd rather lose but play really well, because it's not based on that one game. That means we're playing well. But to lose, to play poorly and win is a very poor indicator of where we are in barometer sense. Does that make sense? That we played some very poor opposition as of late. We played a depleted AC Milan, a 10-man Milan, with all due respect, Wolves and Aston Villa, but all teams, for one reason or another, are either off form or depleted or down to 10 men when we come away. Now, true, you can only play what's in front of you. I get that. But, we haven't exactly been playing the creme de la creme. And I think we were very fortuitous to come away with a draw, let alone a victory.
Yeah. Again, we should have lost that game. It's one game. I don't believe we have business winning. We were lucky, really.
Because of Kepa.
Yeah, we were seriously lucky. Again, let's take a 5 for Kai Harris. I would have rated him better, but yeah, let's go with what the chat rates him. Matt, thank you for what you did in the chat. I appreciate that. I think the best option would be just a complete ban, because, again, I don't take lightly what that person did. I don't want to talk about it because it distracts me. While I'm with you, Roger, your thoughts on Aubameyang? To me, I'd say I wouldn't blame him. I think he didn't get the services.
No, true. But he did come deep to get the ball a few times. I recognize that. But watch him when we don't have the ball. Just watch him. Observe. This is the thing that stood out to me. That's probably why I didn't pay too much attention to Havertz, because I was watching more what, Pierre-Emerick was doing. And it was like he was walking his dog in the park.
Mm-hmm.
He was shocking. There's 3 players that were shocking to me that stood out more than others.
Yeah. So they did indeed. Again, so to me, I wouldn't blame Aubameyang, but let's see what Matt thinks. Matt, what do you think?
Aubameyang, I don't know. Again, for me, this is what we signed Aubameyang. I always say Aubameyang is just there tapping the ball. So I don't think he's there to make doesn't need a link up. Well, I just see him when he's in the box tapping that ball. But
Exactly.
again, it's a horrible performance again. Fuck him before.
Because he can read the game well. I give him that. And you should when you've had that much experience, and he's clinical. You have to give it to him. He's very clinical. But boy, it was shocking once more.
Our attacks that bad that all we need is someone just to come and
tap
tap
the ball. But he wasn't served properly.
Sorry, sir?
I don't know. He got subbed earlier.
He got subbed on the 65th minute, was it?
No, I'm saying he wasn't served as in services. You were talking about Aubameyang, right? He didn't get the services.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree that also is a factor. But I'm talking about what we did when he didn't have the ball. You're right. He had to come deep several times to pick up the ball inside the centre circle, that's not a good indicator.
That's why for me, my expectation for him is just to stay in that box. If a ball comes from Reece James, he'll tap it in. I'm not expecting him to take on players, flips and all this. Just if you're in the box, tap it in.
Yeah.
Okay, let me again. Havertz has gotten his rating. I think we're better off looking at Mount again. His overall performance. I think I don't want to sound pessimistic here. I think the 2 goals again made him stand out really. But again, good work from him. Let's see. Havertz gets again 44%, which means a 5, and I'm going to give him a 5. But we've talked about Aubameyang. Now, Matt, let's talk about Mount again. I'm going to just hold on. Let me look at his number. But quickly, I want to ask guys on the poll what they think of Aubameyang's performance. And Matt, you see the private message?
Yeah.
And so that was why I had to pick the spanner from the person. A lot of nonsense going on. I'll tell you about it in a bit. Okay, we have here is let's say Aubameyang. I don't want to do a 5 because he could say it wasn't his fault really, and he looks tired.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I don't think it was his fault either. But that's why my expectations aren't even high for him. But I give me a 5.
All right. Okay. Let's look at. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
No, that was me.
Okay, just quickly, I'll come back. We'll look at Mount's numbers. Then we'll talk about, again, to me, I think Potter he didn't react quickly to how badly we were played, but we'll talk about that after Mount. Here we have, again, Roger. This is old news with Aubameyang. He doesn't work hard off the ball. One of the reasons why Arteta, again, banned him. Okay, here's the thing. I think his poor performance yesterday wasn't due to, again, his poor ability or whatever. I think it was a lack of service, like was established. Still, Trippier isn't dead. I think it's all fake. It's all nonsense. Again, and I get really pissed.
Really?
Yeah, we will go into that again. I don't want to talk about that because I was really pissed how. For 3 days now, I was in a state of shock, shattered, because I got too close to the person who was using that name. And I'm not going to believe otherwise until somebody proves otherwise. It's all nonsense. Because some person was using the same Trippier Twitter account, go telling somebody else that they're not dead. And then somebody came into the chat yesterday with a different account saying it was all fake, and all nonsense. A lot of stuff that happened that showed it was all fake. But I'm not going to go into that. Again, if I get something that proves otherwise, but because I don't take it lightly that you played with my emotions for 3 days, I wasn't able to achieve anything, and I felt really bad. Which is why, again, I think Pulisic doesn't get picked. You could argue that, again, to some extent, I agree. Let me see what we have here. Mount didn't play well. His passing was poor. Again, his first goal was from a defensive error, and his other goals, again, was a set piece. Here's the thing, but you can score him on the fact that he didn't really make himself available when we were struggling. Again, I heard it from Nick Blue. That whole thing.
Yeah, that's why
you see that Nick Blue and the person in question that's using that account spoke to Nick Blue directly and told them it was lie that they're still living. So the whole thing, absolute nonsense. And accounts where RIP everywhere. Again, I don't want to get into that. It would distract me. So let's look at Mount's numbers for us, compare it with his goal. But no matter what you think, goals are goals. And here's the reason, you can say one of the reasons why we won the game. But more importantly, Kepa Arrizabalaga, he played 90 minutes, a rating of 9.0, which I think he deserves. Goals mean a lot. 2 goals, again, assists 0, total shots 3. Accurate passes 24 out of 34, 71%. Expected goals, again, 0.44. Expected goals on target, 1.12. Expected assists, 0.04. Forget about the fantasy points. Shot accuracy, 2 out of 2, which is brilliant. And we saw the shots ourselves. Again, blocked shots, 1. Again, touches, 53. Successful dribbles, 2 over 2. So, again, passes into the final third, 5. Accurate crosses, 1 out of 1, 100%. Accurate long balls, 2 out of 4, 50%. Dispossessed twice. Again, defense, 0.1 attempt. Blocks 1, recoveries 6. Duels 1, 7 out of 11, 64. Was fouled 4 times. He deserves it, actually. I think it was a good game for him overall, given the numbers.
Yeah, I thought he played well. I thought, I know it was Ming's error, and he was poaching, but he took it very well. That was a very clinical finish, So, I mean, I thought he had a good game. Yes, the free kick, I think you're giving him, with all due respect, too much credit. I thought it was more so on the keeper's error, more so than it was on a good free kick, because it was nowhere close to the corner. But having said that,
give him credit.
No. Listen, I'm not being a hater. I'm just being honest with you.
No, I'm not saying you're a hater, but go ahead.
I really like Mount. I rate him highly. I'm not a Mount hater at all. I'm just being objective here. I thought his finishing for the first goal was excellent. He took it so well, and his work rate was excellent. I thought he had an outstanding game. Don't get me wrong. I'm just being honest. It's more of an error on the goalkeeper than it is on a great shot. That's all I'm saying.
If, for instance, if you can still hear me, because my screen is frozen now.
I can hear you, sir.
First goal.
Yes.
His first goal, again,
he's instinctive,
his awareness. That's why you have to give him credit.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Read the game. He read the game and sensed it that Minks will most likely try to get the ball to his goalkeeper.
That's natural instincts. He's very good.
But everybody doesn't do that. Not every player does that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm agreeing with you. I'm not.
And remember, he wasn't actually the central guy there. It was Aubameyang. But again, he found himself in that position and read the game so well. So, as much as it was a mistake from Mings, he deserves a lot of credit for reading it well and not give up, and still went after the goalkeeper and got to the ball before the goalkeeper.
Coach, I totally agree. It was a beautiful goal. From his perspective, what he did, he read the game so well. You can't teach someone that. You either have it or you don't. And he's an instinctive player. I totally concur. No, there's no doubt about that. As I said, I rate him and rank him highly. It's just the free kick, I think, maybe too much plaudits on that. That's all. I thought he had an outstanding game, and I think he's been an outstanding.
And the numbers says the same. The numbers say the same.
I give him a 9. He was.
I'll say this, Coach. This is the thing with Mount, right? That he's played 13 horrible games this season, right? He's played 13 horrible games, right? Now he's starting to come back. Fantastic. He had a 9 out of 10 performance. He was great, right? The goal, the first one, Ming's error, but still a goal from out. Second one, free kick. I think, honestly, as a professional, it's a bad free kick, but he got the goal. So I give high credit to him. It was a great goal, and he's in great form. He needs to continue it. But fans are never honest when he's playing bad. It's only when it's good, right? And that's the thing with Mason Mount for me. I've said Mason Mount's never going to be a generational talent. I stand by that. I've always said, though, Mason Mount will be a average and good player for us. And this is the form that I see. I think he'll be a player who we look at, we go, this was a great player, like a Willian, but a better version, I call him the English Willian, where I say he had a great career, but nothing to put a statue outside, nothing to give him a banner, nothing like that. And his expectation for a lot of people are so high that they're uncontrollable when it comes to being honest with Mount. They were just a lie to make stuff up about Mount, right? And for many months, Mount has been on a decline, right? And now we're possibly seeing him get back up. He's 23. He still has good time, right? But we got to be honest. Last game, great game. Milan was fantastic. I need to see more of this though, right? I said last season, if an offer came next summer, I would sell him, right? Because we need to be honest with these players. And now he's looking like he's coming back in form. So let's see how much he can do. But I want to continuously see this from him because I've said this, this is why I don't get too stoked about these performances because we've been there, we've done that with players like Havertz, Mount, and Ruben. Do people not forget when they had that little 4-5 run a game last season and then they fell off? Like a lot of Chelsea fans have short term memory when it comes to players that they enjoy, right? And for Mount, he's had this before. He just needs to continue, and I'm hoping he can continue because he is a major player in our team.
Overplay him, I think he can maintain that form.
That's the one thing, coach. He has great physicality. That's why I give him props. He has great physicality. Yes, we got to rest him, but but the thing is, my point is that yes, he's a good player for us. He's probably one of the best attackers. I think Sterling and him are two best attackers, but he needs to continue this. That's it. Rest him, whatever, but he needs to continue this. Not score 4-5 goals in game. Get one goal here, put some effort in here because last 10 games he's been ghosting, and he's still getting 7s and 8s from these surface score ratings, right? So all I'm saying is he needs to continue this.
Yeah, again, I think we can't just expect him to continue like that without, again, doing the necessary thing we should do to make sure he doesn't, because you could say to continue performing on a very high level. You could say what really happened again last season was we overplayed him. And if you look at his numbers, he played the most games, almost nearly the whole Europe. But in England especially, he was one of the players that played the most games. But most people don't pay attention to that. But he's that player.
It wasn't overplaying, coach. It wasn't overplaying. It wasn't overplaying.
Really?
It wasn't overplaying.
But let me say this. Here's the thing about Mount. Again, even Tuchel didn't help matters. Because at the time, I think he needed a rest. I think we all can agree to that. And Tuchel didn't give him that rest. And it was difficult because if Mount is playing, you'd see him give 150% on the pitch. Even when he's crappy, he's still put in that industry. You still see him running again. But again, the only thing that will show you that this guy needs a rest is again, final decisions will show you he's mentally tired and he needs a break. But that's, by the way, again, that was the worst thing. Again, that's why I'm so pissed right now. I'm so mad. The whole thing, again, imagine me telling my wife of a story of a person that I haven't even met and crying like a baby in front of my wife, telling her somebody, again, I had met, look at how good the person have been to the channel. That's why it's affected me and all that. Again, and she was saying, calm down. Again, and all this, again, even on the show, I couldn't hold myself. I wanted to put that particular show in private. It was tight. I said, just leave it. But you know what? People have seen it. Again, thousands have seen it. I'm just going to leave it there. But again, that's the betrayal at the highest level. That's serious betrayal at the highest level, and was going about telling a different person, specifically Nick Blue, that she was still alive. I don't want to go into that. Again, Mount pays a suffer score. But this is not suffer score. This is Fort Mob. And by the way, just quickly, it's only fair that I give them credit. I'm using an app. It's called Fort Mob, FOTMOB. I'm not paying them. Again, it is for free. Again, but it's only fair that I give them credit. They're not paying me either. Again, you can get it on Android product, Huawei product, and Apple products. Great app. You get real-time notifications on what's going on in the game, and I think you'd enjoy it. Just quickly, again, I don't know if Matt is done talking, but let me catch up with what we have in the chat here. Again, Thomas, did you watch the game? Mount was one of the best players yesterday. No, he was, again, the standout player, actually, especially from Chelsea perspective. He was all over the pitch, hardworking, and the goals. We'll talk about the goals in a bit. Again, it was a good finish. Again, Mount was on fire yesterday. Definitely the best game of his season so far. Again, 2 goals done warrant a good game. I needed to see more. No, in a single game, it warrants a good game. Maybe you need to, in terms of consistency, overall season performance, that's when you'll be talking about his overall play. I need to see, again, more throughout 90 minutes, then 2 moments of brilliance. All in all honesty, yeah, sometimes that's what it takes to win a game. And he did that for us. Coach, I never believed the RFP news for 1 minute. But the funny thing is, her comments are very typical of Serbia. At first, again, she tried to use the foreign languages, and it worked for us for a while. And again, it started showing. We started seeing the other side of her. And again, today, intentionally, first of all, I was going to block the account straight away. I took away the spanner, and I got the usual response you'd get from Street Beer whenever you do that. Again, but I don't want to get into that again. I'm still angry. You see, I get so devastated that I started having body pains. That was how
I was
bad
drunk
I
when I
felt.
saw it. I was drunk when I saw it, and then I was like, I had to look at it the next day. I thought it was fake. I thought I was thinking things in my head. But yeah, this is I don't know. It's all over the place.
It was all bullcrap. Seriously, I'm going to say that again. In a physical league like this one, 2 chances is a lot. He's still young and will get better. But again, unfortunately for him, most people don't look at his age. Facts, Capacity and Matt, kudos to you from Thomas SW6. Thomas, I hope you're doing well, and thank you for finding the time to join the show. So back on the panel, I'll do a lot of scrolling, and again, less of talking here. Coming back to the panel, Matt, again, I'm sure you're done talking about Mason Mount's performance, right?
I'm what, sorry?
I'm sure you're done talking about Mason Mount's performance.
No, yeah. No, I'm done. I gave him a 9 out of 10.
Let's talk about Graham Potter himself. Again, if you ask me, I thought he didn't react as quickly as he should, given how poor we were during the first half.
No, I think he reacted well, but Graham Potter's not that guy, though, Coach. Graham Potter's not that guy.
Shouldn't he have made the changes earlier than he did?
No, he did a half time. I think he did it reasonable. I don't think he wanted to instantly panic. I think half time, putting on Koulibaly, Aspi, I guess, worked out a bit. It wasn't the worst, but again, it comes at it's not the manager's fault. It's not the manager's fault. We got players. I'll put Cucurella on blast. You got Cucurella. I don't know why Cucurella's not playing well. He played a whole season there. Why is he failing? It's not the manager's fault. Players can't play in their natural position. But and it comes to my point. We're putting a band-aid over a stitch that needs wounding. Potter's a fantastic manager, but he's not going to fix anything if these players continue what they're doing. It's the players' fault. We need to get a proper captain, and maybe Kepa on this pitch can probably change it, because you see him get on this pitch, how he's screaming, he's demanding, he's got authority on what he wants. That's what you call a leader. And his interview, where I just posted just before on Twitter, and he said, how he said something like, I help the team, and this is the most important things. Captains put the team before themselves, and this is what I'm saying with Kepa. And the point is, and it links with Potter, is because I think Kepa can really get that captain's arm badge and probably lead Chelsea to a better direction.
I think he can do that. I think he can lead that team. He's shown, again, even without the band, he's a leader, and I like to see that, really. I think he will make a better leader than Cesar Azpilicueta is. To me, I've seen some stuff that makes me, I don't think Cesar Azpilicueta is one of the best captains we've heard. Some people think he is. But again, he's an exemplary professional. I wouldn't take that away from him. Coming to you, Roger, your thoughts. How do you think Potter did? To you, shouldn't he have made those changes earlier in the first half? Because we could have considered 3 goals even before the first half ended, and it would have been very, very difficult.
Yeah,
to win the game.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Let's put it this way. I think head coaches / managers, they get far too much credit when they win, and they get far too much blame when they lose, because once that whistle is blown, once these players cross that white line, it's up to them to execute the plan and what the opponents present them. The manager can't head a ball, save a goal, score, etc. So I get it, And then what Matt is saying is like, yes, we're treating the symptom, not the cause. Is that what you're trying to say, Matt? Yeah, I get it. Having said that, though, I think he did react well enough, but I think, in all honesty, he got it wrong this day. Plain and simple, I think possibly the formation and too many players, as I've said before, were square pegs in round holes. It just didn't work. Also, I think the players should be more accountable. I saw what I would call a lackluster performance and approach. They didn't get up for it. I think it's an amalgamation, a conglomeration of many things that caused what is the perfect storm, where we played poorly, yet we got away with it. And as I said, I would have been ecstatic to come away with a draw, let alone a win. So yeah, I think Potter should take some blame, because I think his choice of players. Listen, I'm not sure. I think what we have to ask is, come the Brentford game, if Sterling starts, for instance, then there's something wrong. There's something behind the scenes that we're not seeing. Okay, because I expected Pulisic to start today based on Sterling's form and his production the last few games. It's been very poor. I don't rate him, Having said that, if he does continue to start Sterling again, whoa, that three games.
He has to explain it.
Yeah. There's either Pulisic is doing something that negates him starting, prevents him from starting, because I have a feeling there are some coaches, and I've said this before, that will they will choose their starting 11 or their squad per se, given X amount of substitutes based on what they do on the training pitch, not on the actual game tape, and there are some coaches / managers that ignore what they see on the training ground, whether it's, catching balls if you're a wide receiver, or, being technical in a football pitch / soccer pitch, it depends. So it depends on the approach that a manager has. And it looks like so far that Potter isn't going by form by quite a few players. I don't think Sterling deserved to start. And I think he's too dependent on Silva also. I mean, I expected Silva to be rested. And if he starts Silva again in the Brentford game, then there's something wrong also. It's the rotation.
I have to say that too.
There's multiple things, there's multiple facets that I don't see, and there's the logic that's, obviously there are certain things that only he will know, or his coaching staff, shall we say, would know, that we're speculating and assuming. But from an outsider's perspective, it doesn't add up logically.
It doesn't make any sort of sense, because here's the thing. First of all, if you look at the 11 that started against Milan, a lot of changes. And we started saying, okay, we're seeing rotation here. And we expected a lot of the players that started against Wolves to start against Aston Villa. And that didn't happen. But at least, even if you're going to make, again, even if we're trying to start at the opposition or to surprise them, if they're expecting you to rotate heavily, I didn't think Sterling will run. He shouldn't have started. He had no business starting that game, honestly. He had no business, given three stinkers. That's made it three stinkers in a row. Again, the argument, again, because it's factual, unfortunately, I have to repeat it. It just seems as if he's not rewarding performance. Look how well Christian Pulisic and, again, Conor Gallagher played against Wolves, and they didn't play against Milan. Give them a chance again. It just doesn't make any sort of sense. Again, so for me, overall, like you said, and I know you've talked about that already, I think he took a serious risk, because had we gone even a single goal down, it would have been difficult to come back from it. Look at how he was all zeros, and they were coming at us like as if our midfield was non-existent. But go ahead, you were saying something, Andy. Roger.
Oh, sorry. He rolled the dice, and there was one stat that when I was watching it live, Sky Sports had shown that Villa had 22 crosses compared to our 1, and it was.
Oh yeah, we should actually look at it. Go ahead.
But this was like in the 70th minute or 65th. I forget, so I'll rewatch it. But I thought that was a telling stat. 22-1. That's incredible.
Yeah, apart from keeping the ball, they were a better side.
Yeah, hands down, coach. Hands down.
Let's just be factual here. We have the receipt, so let's just pull it up. It's easier to convince you.
Know what, though, Matt is right about one thing, though. You know, let's say you're the manager, coach, and you pick players A, B, and C based on what you've seen. And once they step on the pitch and they don't perform, you're going to get lambasted for it. And it's not fair for you. Do you understand? So,
here's the thing, Potter. Usually, again, I think you could argue how soon a manager makes a change shows how quick they react to problems.
Yes.
I am the type, usually, if I sense, again, if I see a problem and I understand it's a problem, I don't give it time to see if the problem solves itself. It was clear yesterday. Believe me, Carlo Ancelotti will make a change in the first 20 minutes of that game.
Yeah, I agree with you on
that. Yeah. Something as Mourinho. But I think you could say we're thinking maybe Potter isn't as stubborn as Thomas Tuchel. I think he is. Even Tuchel possibly a bit less stubborn in terms of making changes when a team is playing that poor, except if he doesn't have options. We've seen him start a player and take a player off, put another player again, put in a player and take him off under 5 minutes. But that's, by the way, my point is I think we took a risk because we could have been 2 goals down. And that would be difficult to come out from because we'd be all out to get equalizing goals and be exposed even further. Look at the receipts here. They had 18 shots and we had just 8, 10 more than us. We looked at it together and the XG shows us we were actually lucky to have gotten a win from this game. Big chances created. They created 4 big chances. We created 3. Big chances missed. They missed 4. We missed 2. Possession. No, not surprised. It's our thing. We can say that, but we don't eat that. Fouls committed 12 and 11. Usually, again, sometimes you could argue the team that wants to win the most commits the most foul. But that's, by the way, offsides. 3 for them, 1 for us. The corners, they had 7 corners.
Yes.
And we had 6.
And by the way, we got our corner in the 96th minute.
Exactly. So the disparity in the numbers show, again, we were lucky to have gotten a win out of that. And that's why I refuse to call it that again, to say we grinded a win or we dug deep. No, Coach, to me, we were lucky. That's how I like to see it.
We were more than fortuitous. Coach, we have to be objective here. As much praise as we, give Potter when he gets it right, we also conversely have to constructively criticize him when he gets it wrong. And I believe he got this one wrong in quite a few facets. But also, I thought the players, no one expected Cucurella to play this poorly, even when he didn't have opposing players around him.
Being honest, I think you and I we can agree the whole issue stemmed from the midfield. That doesn't mean that those in the midfield area, Kovacic and Loftus-Cheek, again, were the worst players on the pitch. But they weren't able to deal with the tempo of the game. That was why in the first 20 minutes, during the watch along, I started screaming, this game is calling for Jorginho because we need to get a hold of it. And these 2 players aren't capable of doing that. But go ahead with what you were saying, brother.
Yeah, but I totally agree with you on that. I'm not debating or arguing that case, sir. But what I do want to say is, had we had people pressing up front and or an extra man in midfield, this wouldn't have transpired. But listen, hindsight is 2020. This is easy to, as they say in America, be a Monday quarterback, right? A couch. What's it called? A coach on the couch. That's what we're doing fundamentally. But I believe it was. I was just hoping, by the 20 to 30th minute that we could get to half time and then make changes, because I thought Cucurella and Aubameyang should have been taken off, and Sterling.
Let me ask you this quickly.
You got it wrong. Simple.
Would you rather? I know a lot was wrong, but to me he reacted poorly. He didn't react on time, which was a huge risk, really. But I took the win because we struggled against Aston Villa again for a while now, especially at the Villa Park. Before I go back to the chat, because I'm seeing some delicious comment there again that changed my mood for better. especially again the Bluetooth again. I love you so much, brother. That makes me happy. I want to ask you this again. Would you rather? So you liked it that again that Cucurella was the one taken up. I thought before the changes really. I thought again honestly to me, if you ask me, I thought really that again Chilwell was worse than Cucurella.
Sir, that's like asking who was more of a genocidal maniac, Stalin or Hitler? You know? Okay, I could have used a different simile or metaphor, but you get my gist, right?
Goodness. No, but I get your point. We have every right. Again, those are in history will never judge them. Fairly, but given what they did. But go ahead.
Yeah, but you get my gist. The Cucurella and what's his name, Chilwell, they were horrible, but I thought Cucurella was just slightly more horrible than Chilwell. I mean, I don't rate Chilwell. I've said that. When we got him for 50 million, I couldn't believe it. I was thinking he's nowhere close to that, and I don't rate him. You know, I'm English. I'm British. I'm very objective. I don't rate Sterling. I don't rate Chilwell. You know, but then again, you have to be a little bit more compassionate with Chilwell because he still hasn't recovered fully from a serious. Was it ACL? I can't recall. From a serious injury. And the same with Ruben. Look, it took Ruben 1.5 years to 2 years to maintain his form. And that we're not just talking physical, we're talking psychological also. So I understand that. I take that into account. But I thought they both played poorly. And I thought Cucurella was worthy of a 3.
Yeah.
I really
just quickly,
did.
let me catch up with the chat here. Rumors, or maybe reality going around that Mount is playing out of his skin because he wants, again, a new contract. I think he's always put in that performance. You can argue also, I think Potter has found a way to bring out the best in him. I think he's better off centrally. Not, again, as one of the 2-8s. And I think when we switched to this structure, actually, at one point, but that's, by the way, we move on from that. And I'm going to say this quickly. 2 of his goals, I'm not going to take anything away from him. Yes, the first one was a mistake from Mings, but again, it took Mount intelligence to read the game so well and notice again that he was going to opt to go for the goalkeeper because there weren't so much pace on the ball for him to like deal with it, and he goes that far. The second goal, to me, it was about timing. It was about him watching Emi Martinez that he just got done. Again, he just finished arranging his defense and was about to reposition himself and was going towards the other direction. And he put the ball a bit towards to the other direction. Plus, it was deepened. So not taking away anything from Mount, again, as most people think. People need to remember Mount is still a young player. No, sorry, a lot of people don't. Yeah, unfortunately for him. A lot of people don't look at his age. They look beyond his age before judging him. Again, but that's, by the way, let's see what we have here. And I want to read this comment from my brother. He says, sorry, coach, that we all got punked, but I got to laugh, please. Forgive me. No, again, you have every right to laugh. Again, what sort of joke is that, really?
It's not.
And I can't even go back to my wife and say, that my friend that I was telling you that passed, it turns out it was all a joke. It's actually she's hearing me now from the studio again, but I don't think she's awake now. But it just doesn't make any sort of sense. Okay, slow down with the Kepa captaincy. We have 3-4 players worthy of being a captain. I'd rather Thiago Silva at this point, actually, over anyone else until, again, he gives it up. Reece James, Silva, Jorginho. Again, let's big up to my brother, Mikhail. Nice to see you, bro. I can't thank you enough for finding the time to join the show. He said, I agree, Coachella. Again, Potter got lucky in the first half. We could have been down 3-4 goals by halftime, if not for Kepa's heroics. Our changes should have come sooner than later. That's just a simple fact. Why he let it go on, I'm not sure, really. Again, I am hearing people are back from... I am relieved, if that's the truth. But at the same time, I'm not happy. Again, Ty and I discussed it. It would be a good thing if anybody isn't dead. But at the same time, why do you toy? Why did you again decide to toy with people's emotions? That could have led to somebody driving again because when people are heartbroken, it impairs their judgment. It impairs again. It can affect a lot. Again, like I said, I have not been able to achieve anything for the past 3 days. Because of that, I'm still pissed, and it still affected me. I felt betrayed again at the highest level, honestly. The beautiful game says, "Big up, coach." Again, to the best content creators in the business, I appreciate you. Again, that's an honor. Again, that you view this community that way. When my time is up.
Oh my gosh.
I love this guy. I love this brother, but thank you. Again, when I read it, even before I brought it up on the update screen, again, it changed the way I feel, But thank you, bro. Again, none of us will live forever. That's the truth. Again, at the beautiful game, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm laughing now. I feel a little bit better, but I still feel betrayed at the highest level. I have to be honest. Like I said, if anybody feels like that's not the case, you have so many ways to prove the community, the whole Chelsea community, say, look, I wasn't lying. It is in fact the truth. Just show it. There's nothing wrong in doing that. Yeah, I'm just going to say it, put it there. Very soon we will be hearing that Potter doesn't know his starting 11. I think it wouldn't make sense to make such an argument because rotation will be key now. So we'll be seeing a lot of changes, but it doesn't seem like he decided to rotate quite as we expected him to do in this particular game. On here, again, I think yesterday was the game for Chukwuemeka debut. Again, we shouldn't have started Havertz, considering we started, again, a 3-4-2-1 formation yesterday. I don't know what to say about that. Again, let's see. Again, Olaseni Sutton, this is a Christian Pulisic should start against Sterling. Rather than Sterling against Brentford. I understand that. Again, Havertz works like, off the ball. On the ball, again, he plays it like he hasn't eaten it. Oh, my gosh, that's hilarious, really. Brentford game, it's a game of strength. High-octane football. High-octane football. We have to be, again, at our best to be able to stop them because it is like that. That reminds me, but again, I think that Brentford team is different from Marcel Bielsa's Leeds United because they're cautious too defensively. I think they're strong enough to stop any team. Again,
Tony's impressive, coach.
Sorry?
Tony is impressive.
Yeah, he is. Ivan Tony, right? He is. And he scored in their last game too, right? Didn't he? It was against Brighton, and they won 2-0, I think.
He's got like 8 or 9 goals this season, something like that. He's prolific.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind him wearing the Chelsea badge. I'll be honest with you, and he's young.
Yeah, he's a fine player. Again, maybe the manager doesn't want him. Maybe that's the case. Again, I will give Kukurea a tiny pass only because I don't think he should have had to play. And again, I don't think that's an issue, actually. The whole issue we witnessed stemmed from the midfield inability to, at least screen, to read the game well, let alone, again, they weren't able to read the game properly and be at the right place at the right time to screen the defense. They didn't do that until Jorginho came on. They weren't able to control the tempo of the game because the best approach to stopping, to getting the break from a team that's coming at you like this is to slow down the tempo of the game a bit. Yeah, we didn't do that. Yeah. And nobody on the pitch was able to do that until Jorginho came on. I wouldn't say this because Cucurella started as a left center-back player before, again, playing in a left wing-back position. So I think, again, like I said, the whole thing stemmed, the issue we witnessed stemmed from the inability of the midfield to protect the defense. We should stick to playing either Chilwell or Cucurella. I think similarly about Mount or Kai in the starting 11. Let's see what happens. Again, we don't have too much to work with when you talk about, a Graham Potter. Again, it's difficult to predict what he's going to do. I think somebody else has done it. I wanted to do that before I saw what was going on in the chat. Matt had already done it, and again, I'm happy he did that. But sometimes, even if I saw it, usually what I do, I need people to speak, because when you give them opportunity to speak, that's where democracy works. When people are able to speak their mind, they're less likely to do something. They will show you everything you need to know, and there's always something to learn. When you don't block people, give them opportunity to speak, you learn quite a lot. But she's been blocked, and that was done by Matt, and I appreciate Matt doing that. But that's, by the way, quickly, Roger. Again, just for the last time before we call it a day, I want to get your thoughts on the selection and then the 11 that started overall. Again, I know you already talked about it. Again, he should be apportioned some of the blames. But overall, where do you think he got it wrong in terms of selection?
Yeah, so we also have to take into account, Coach, that he's new to this team, to this squad. You know, he's feeling his way. It's not like he's been here a year or two or 5. You know, so we really should take that into consideration also. And also, don't forget, he sees things, and when I say he, I'm talking about inclusively the whole coaching staff, which gives him feedbacks in their respective positional coaches. You know, they see things that we do. And also, they may have a history of like someone's tweaking an injury or something. Obviously, we're not privy to all the information, so we should take that into account. But honestly, where did I think he got it wrong? I agree with you. Sterling,
yeah,
couldn't believe.
Again, we can say, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we're not privy to a lot of the stuff that he knows. But I based on form, it doesn't look like he's picking a few players based on form, which I find most unsettling. Like Gallagher should have started. You know, I understand Aubameyang starting because he's in form, but Sterling, no. Cucurella, you can't blame that on him. He's looked solid, and he had a stinker of a game. So did Chilwell. You know, there's certain things that a coach / manager gets way too much credit for and way too much blame for. You know, did he react too late, halftime? I wouldn't call halftime late, but I wouldn't call it early either. I see your point. I get it. And if it wasn't for Kepa, we'd be talking about 0 points here. So I get it. You know, it could have gone a lot better. I came away from watching that game really not comfortable, really down. I thought it was a step back. It was definitely a step back, collectively speaking. There were a few.
Yeah, I'm not the one to just move on from a game because we won. I look at a lot of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's a full sense of security right there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Chelsea fan right now, and you are happy with that game, apart from the 3 points, then I'm sorry, you're watching a different game than I am, because you shouldn't be happy. You should be disgruntled. You should be. Yeah, I thought it was quite pathetic in some instances. We were playing an out-of-form team. Forget about where they are in the league. They've just been, to the eye, they're not a very good team. They've been unsettled lately. We're not playing a City or an Arsenal or a Real Madrid, etc., etc. Any other team would have put the sword in us. So this is what we have to take into account. I think our last 4 to 5 games, we've been fortuitous enough to play teams that have not been on form, or there are extenuating circumstances. And we really need to take that into account, because I don't think we're playing well, regardless of our point in the table. Mm-hmm. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Again, thank you very much, Roger. Always nice to have you on the panel. I appreciate you finding time to join. I seriously cannot thank you enough, brother. Much love. I just wish there's a way I can show you how much I appreciate you always being on the panel with me. And also I want to say again, thank you again. Just quickly, let me get what we have here. Chama, how was your weekend? Yes, Chama, how was your weekend? The Keka weekend, the Gimme. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. Again, it won't be a show without us getting some comic relief from my brother. The beautiful game, Matt blocking those shots like prime Kepa. Yes, that was a good block from Matt, and I sincerely do appreciate that. Yeah. Again, I wasn't paying attention, but before I knew, I was looking at it and said, again, Matt blocked someone, and again, that made me very happy. Again, just quickly, my screen is acting up. I don't want my screen to be blocked. Let me do this. It is still freezing.
Yeah, coach, you're freezing.
When am I?
You're freezing intermittently, coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's not about I don't think it's about the connection this time. I think it's about the new system actually itself is giving me a problem, but I'll find a solution. Here's what I'm going to do here. Okay, I think it probably works now. I'm not sure if I'm still able to end the show safely. Let me see what I can do. Okay, maybe that will help. It says again, Matt blocking those shots like, Prime, Kepa, that was a good job by Matt because I wasn't paying attention. And here it says again, something isn't quite right. Just give me a second. Roger, go ahead. You can talk a bit more while I get a hold of it because I can't even stop the show if that's still happening.
Seriously? Yeah. I'm sorry, Albin. Yeah, actually, sometime later today, ping me, DM me. Maybe we can talk about planning a collab on the England team.
Yeah, we should. You're 11.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we have to do that, really. And I'm serious about it. Just give me a second.
Or possibly a 4-4-3.
Is that the formation you think is going to deploy predominantly? Let me see. If you guys can hear me, I think what I would do, just quickly, how do I... Oh, my gosh. I hate to see this happening. It's serious. Okay, let me see. What else can I shut down to let this work perfectly? Okay, shut down this guy here.
So don't forget, we play in 3 more days' time, coach.
And for this time, you think that's a better time to do it? Okay, let me just keep
No. I'm saying we play Brentford in 3 days' time, if I'm not mistaken. So
the next game, isn't it? Is it Tuesday or what day?
Let's have a look. Let me go to my calendar. Sorry.
Yeah.
Boom. So today is So we play on a Wednesday. So in 2 days' time. So I'm really interested to see who he plays to start, because if he doesn't deviate from what he's been doing, then there's obviously something that we're missing completely. That's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm most concerned
so I might well end up ending the show from another screen here. But the good thing is that I can read what I wanted to read. But again, just quickly, here again, this one says again, I am happy. We got the 3 points, 3 wins in a row, 7 Kepa saves, a Mount brace. One of them, again, a beauty, despite Reece not being on the pitch. Again, we're able to play well without Reece James. That's a huge improvement there. This one says, let me see. Again, the team needs to improve in all departments. Yeah, Emmanuel Obeda, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well, brother. Please do let me know. Nice to see you again. Again, we have, my weekend was great at Just Villa. Yeah, you're not going to tell coach your weekend was great. And I did ask you whether your weekend was great too, even with Igbo. Chama, that's not nice, really. Again, take care. I just we are going up for the afternoon shift now. Okay, again, I hope you enjoy your work. Chama, yourself, nice to see you. Thank you for that. Again, a great stream, guys. Thank you so much. More thanks to you for finding the time to participate and help keep the house clean. Civil, I appreciate that so much. It says again, it's on Wednesday. Okay, in a few days time still. That's the day after tomorrow. So yeah, it's still in a few days. So with that, I want to say thank you to all the mods. Thank you to Just Viola, the queen of the house. Thank you to the Beautiful Game and every other person again that helped us. Again, that joined the show. I cannot thank you guys enough. With that, we've come to the end of the show. I hope to see you guys again next time. God bless us all. Again, just give me a beat. This one too starts acting up. God bless us all. And bye. And Roger, I would try to reach out like we agreed. Thank you so much, bro. I cannot appreciate you enough.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chest, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free.